Hello, and welcome to MoviePod, a weekly cinema podcast. I'm your host, Brian Wishart. So this is actually the 50th movie this podcast has covered, which is a pretty big milestone. And we're talking about Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, directed by Zack Snyder. A movie that fails every single part of its title because it's a bad Batman movie. It's V, not versus, so it's a bad courtroom drama and a bad versus drama. It's a bad Superman movie. You don't see dawn happen at all because there's no sun in this movie because Zack Snyder doesn't believe in daylight. And justice doesn't really happen because that's for the next movie. So to join me, I am joined by Tommy and Tim from the Haven't Seen It podcast to go through probably my most hated movie ever made. How's it going, guys?
What's up? Hi. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for having us.
So this movie has been kind of reclaimed by the Zack Snyder cultists, or the Snyder fans. And there's been a big attempt to restore the Snyderverse, which was really amplified to the point of social media that they actually were able to get a Snyder cut of the Justice League movie. And Justice League had an interesting kind of bit of a really sad reasoning for why it needed a director's cut, because Zack Snyder's daughter died while he was making the movie, so he left the production of the movie. He was replaced by Joss Whedon. So it's a very incomprehensible movie, and the Snyder cut of Justice League makes a lot more sense. And the thing is, it's still Zack Snyder's vision, and as I mentioned previously in this podcast, my Sucker Punch episode, Zack Snyder just does not really work as a filmmaker for many. But they really tried to hitch all wagons to Zack Snyder to make a cinematic universe, because a couple years before, a year before Man of Steel came out, that's when the Avengers movie came out. So DC wanted their team-up movie as fast as possible, and this is what we got.
It's just desperate catch-up. I mean, like the movie, essentially.
On the day we're recording this, on the day of Avengers Doomsday coming out, where it feels like death of the Marvel. Like we're really just at the end of our, like, they can call it after this. But you have to give Marvel credit for the start of it, and I don't even know how big of a plan it fully was, where it was like, here's your little Iron Man movie. Now here's your little Thor. Here's your little Captain America.
They're figuring out one movie at a time, right? Throw one ball in the air, catching the next one, and maybe a few movies time we'll set up a big bad.
And also, when you think about it too, like the mid 2000s is like, outside of the Spider-Man movies and like X2 maybe, like superhero movies are like incomprehensible garbage that come out, like really bad movies.
It was a Wild West. Like I did Constantine podcast earlier this year, and like that is a wild swing of a movie. We also get shit like Daredevil. You get
Elektra,
Ang Lee's Hulk movie. So there
Ghost Rider,
and so I've been talking to Tim and Tommy the past couple hours about the Odyssey. I just recorded an episode for Haven't Seen It on the Odyssey. And so speaking of Christopher Nolan, like pretty much 2008, you get The Dark Knight by Christopher Nolan, and a complete change of superhero movies forever. Like Batman Begins sort of did, but Dark Knight completely kicked the doors open. These are movies that could be treated seriously, and they make a lot of money, and people kind of want something special. But also, Iron Man comes out the same summer, and that kind of suggests a cinematic universe with like Nick Fury coming in right at the end saying, hey, Samuel Jackson's like, hey, join the Avengers Initiative.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about Man of Steel is, so Batman v Superman is a sequel to Man of Steel, so it's going to be the second movie in the DC expanding universe.
Great trailer, by the way, Man of Steel. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic.
Zack Snyder is great at trailers and not much else.
Yeah.
Some of his action's pretty, I think he's better at like hand-to-hand combat action than Christopher Nolan.
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we got into it during our Odyssey episode, so listen to the Odyssey episode first, but I haven't seen the podcast. But I think the final hand-to-hand action sequence of the Odyssey is illegible, whereas I think just the too much quick cutting action, too many close-ups for what it is. But I think the warehouse takedown sequence that Batman does in this movie, you can see what's happening, looks pretty good. It's just surrounded by so much other stupid shit going on in this movie that like I just stopped caring about it.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the highlight of the movie. And like Zack Snyder is a filmmaker for me that like I'm not really been connected, and he just needs a strong script. I think his best movie ever is his first movie, Dawn of the Dead remake, because he has James Gunn doing his script for him, and that movie's not perfect, but it hits the notes that it needs to and stuff like that, and it's not a terrible, god-awful script where, like, something like Batman v Superman is just so convoluted and just, like, so many shitty character moments. It just, like, unrails the whole thing.
Yeah. Like, I think... Oh, sorry, keep going.
So I just wanted to say this because I've had this thought for a while. I like reading Oppenheimer as an allegory for Christopher Nolan, reaping the sorrows for what he's brought into the world, with The Dark Knight just being such a massive success, and then it's shaping cinema for an entire decade, and he just he doesn't realize the bomb that he actually dropped onto the world. I know that's not really the point of the movie, but I like that it fits.
It's a fun reading, yeah.
It's a fun reading. It's probably not accurate, but it's maybe somewhere in his subconscious. Like, I rewatched The Dark Knight Rises for the first time in a very long time, and I was blown away at how much I really did not like that movie, and how lazy it really felt. You can... I have this in my notes here. You can feel that Christopher Nolan had a disdain for making superhero movies during The Dark Knight Rises. Like, he had Inception, which was like his big follow-up, like massive hit, like another blank check movie for him, but he's contractually obligated to do this one. So you can kind of feel like it's his laziest movie, I think, by far.
I think that movie's fun, but like, it's the last time Christopher Nolan's going to ever be obligated to make a movie.
Yes, I agree with you. It is fun, like, but I don't think it's good, if that makes sense. Like, I don't have like a terrible time watching it, but I'm watching it and I'm like, this feels lazy. But I said, Christopher Nolan has a disdain for making a superhero movie, but Zack Snyder just hates Superman. Like, he hates his character
straight up.
I think he likes Batman a little bit, but like the best sequence, which is the dream sequence, is Batman using...
There's 7 dream sequences in this movie.
Were there? I was losing track, man. Yeah. Listen,
I think we all checked out midway through this rewatch.
Checked out midway through this movie. When I heard that's 40 years for vandalism, I was like, well, was this written by Colin Trevorrow, or did Snyder write this one?
I will say that Zack Snyder's a better director than Colin Trevorrow.
It's not saying
low bar. Okay,
I did say my Jurassic Park 3 episode, which I still need to edit, but it's supposed to come out tomorrow, last Tuesday. If you're listening to this now, I think that Colin Trevorrow is the worst director working in Hollywood.
Is he still working?
By that. I hope not, but Jurassic World Dominion made $1 billion, so. But like, one thing I will say about Zack Snyder is that I saw this one great comment on Twitter. It's like, no one ever says separate the art from the artist just because you like the guy but hate the art. But Zack Snyder's one of those guys I will do it for, because I think that Zack Snyder's a charming personality, but I hate everything he makes.
Yeah, I feel true sympathy for him of him tragically losing his daughter. Like, that
sucks.
That's the experience that no parent should ever have to go through. It doesn't change how I feel about his movies, but from any interviews with him and stuff, he just seems like a little bit of like a wacky guy, you know what I mean? And like he had, I would say the movie that changed cinema forever is probably 300, because it just like, it's fine. It's a fine action movie. It's like Zack Snyder's strong suits just amplified. It gave us Gerard Butler for like a half a decade too, and like bad rom-coms and not much else.
But even with the 300, that's somehow he somehow made the original text more fascist. And I feel like his movies, I don't think he's a fascist as an individual, but his movies are fascist.
What do you mean by that? Especially I see that thrown around, and I don't know if I agree with Batman. I feel, if you want to say authoritarian, sure. I think the word fascist gets thrown around very loosey-goosey nowadays, and not to say that I agree with, like, but for someone who has studied World War II and, like, has a strict definition of fascism in my head, I see that word just thrown around a lot, and I don't know if it applies to the way people say it. I think people like to use it, but I don't think they apply the correct meaning to it.
He loves the idea of the Uberman. He loves the idea of someone who can, like, because he's all about hype and aura moments, which this movie is nothing but. And
but they don't
he had his way, I feel like he was building up towards this idea of like a complete fascist Superman. And I don't think he's totally against the idea of a fascist Superman. I don't think he's against the idea of a fascist Batman either. Someone who completely takes actions complete in their own hands, limited power towards center on the limited person, the one person, the individual. And it's just like he's more interested in like gods doing shit than the collective doing stuff. So that's where I come across this movie, especially about like gods doing things. It's this whole movie. It's this whole fucking movie's fucking Jesse Eisenberg just pontificating like it's a first year like political science essay about like gods and philosophy.
Were they?
And it's the worst casting ever.
Were they? Well, hang on a second. Did they like realize like the Joker needed to have like a business, and they're like, well, that guy can't really do it. But what if we just wrote the Joker as Lex Luthor? Because I think Eisenberg as the Joker is like it's not Heath Ledger, but it's not Jack, but it's fine. The problem with him it's better than Jared Leto.
It's the weird thing where I can see the logic behind the casting and like behind the direction of it, where like they're thinking like Zack Snyder's thinking like, oh, like who's the modern like billionaire type of person, and maybe it's more so Mark Zuckerberg, which Eisenberg has famously played. But I think it's just the execution of it ends up becoming like just like insufferable, where it's just like Eisenberg can be a fun performer. Like I just watched the Zombieland movies recently, and like he's fun in that as like almost like a Michael Cera type clone. But like when he gets to this and Batman Superman, it's just an annoying twitchy fucking performance that just like doesn't work and just comes off as just like cringy, and like this almost like derailed Eisenberg's career to a point.
And speaking of the casting of this movie, is I think that Snyder movies are really well cast overall, including this one. Like I think Ben Affleck is a fascinating choice to play Batman. I wish we got more of it.
Yeah.
Jeremy Irons as Alfred, I really like, but he gets nothing to do. And it's just like I feel like Holly Hunter, good choice to be in this movie, but the role is bad. Jesse Eisenberg on paper, I like. The thing is, a lot of the Snyder people, the way they defend Zack Snyder movies is like, oh, like, well, the other way. The reason why they stop fighting is because Batman finds out that Superman's name is Martha, and on paper it makes sense. So Batman's regaining his humanity, he's lost because Batman's become like a little like, terrorist in town, and he remembers like, oh, like the people I'm fighting could also be just like me too. They could be hurt individuals. But the execution for every Zack Snyder moment in this movie is so fucking stupid.
It's so clunky and so awful. And like I'm not going to defend this movie whatsoever, but I know someone that would, and that's my brother, who saw this movie I think like 15 or 16 times in theaters, and like to this day still will talk about this. And like if he's listening,
that's the craziest sentence.
And if he's listening, I'm sorry. If he's
language.
listening, I'm sorry, RJ, but I remember like he would tell me like stories about how like he was like, this movie is amazing because it takes superheroes completely seriously, and like it's like how it would be in the real world and everything like that. And like I don't feel that at all. I don't know. It's just
I remember need my superheroes in the real world, man. I would actually argue like a big complaint of mine is this, and like Tommy and I were talking about this because my notes is just me texting Tommy about this slog. Where I said, do we know where Zack Snyder stands on 9/11? Because this dude loves destroying buildings.
Seriously. Oh, God.
Like,
no, I mean...
It's like almost kind of toned down from Man of Steel, which was like... I remember watching that in theaters and like my head hurt. And I was like 19. Like my head shouldn't hurt when I'm 19, but it was just so like... over my face, like pressure. Like I'm just like... Because it was all dumb too. Like wasn't even set up in any way, shape, or form.
It was just like building destruction porn, essentially.
Yeah,
it's crazy that Nolan had like a hand in that.
Yeah,
he was a producer and
there were talks
by.
There were talks about like, what if we were to like merge like the Dark Knight trilogy with
I remember that, yeah,
Superman. Even after Man of Steel came out, and then eventually it was like, oh, like I don't think it would actually work that well, so let's go a different direction with Batman. But
it's a weird thing that they're gonna have. They're talking about like including Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern and Christian Bale as Batman, and like, what's it called, like the Zack Snyder Henry Cavill as Superman as like a Justice League sort of thing, and then the Ryan Reynolds thing fell flat in its face. That was another movie my brother saw 16 times in theaters. I'm not even making up the number.
I saw that with you in theaters. I don't remember anything about it. We were in high school when that happened.
That has one funny bit where Blake Lively recognizes him because, like, that mask only covers your eyes. I can sort of see your face.
Yeah,
it's not a good secret identity.
I do remember, just real quick on a tangent, I remember my brother was so obsessed with this movie when it came out that I went to go visit him in Florida, and he made us watch the trailer for the movie, a movie that we both at this point have already seen. He made us watch the trailer like fucking 20 times the whole trip in Florida. And I was like, all right, really? We're doing this?
The trailer's better than the movie. But
yeah. Again, Zack Snyder.
True of all bad movies, because they are roughly 2 minutes long.
But I feel like Zack Snyder is like, his movies always make for great trailers because it's all hype and aura moments. It's all like, people looking cool and stuff. He has an interesting musical taste too, so his like movies sound good.
Yeah.
But also, speaking of the Christopher Nolan connection with Man of Steel, my biggest issue with Man of Steel, in fact, it's a very boring movie, and I don't think Henry Cavill's a good actor at all, is that Man of Steel, like, the end of it has, like, Superman snapping Zod's neck, and him looking very, very sad, and Lois is like, oh my god, how could you do that? But the movie's basically trying to be Batman Begins, but for Superman. And Batman Begins puts the legwork about Bruce Wayne being against killing innocent people. Man of Steel does not do that, but it assumes that because you watch Batman Begins, you care about that. So the entire conception of this universe is basically you like what Nolan's doing for the grounded superhero stuff. So,
but it only really works for Batman. It only really works for Batman because Gotham is just kind of like built around that, and like Superman. Yeah. Like, I did some research on Superman for this because I'm not a comic book.
You do know he's fictional, right?
Savant. I'm aware, but I did some legwork on the character itself. Is he fictional? He's a god in this. But he's like the whole point of like Clark Kent is like, yeah, he's an alien, but he loves being a human, and he takes more pride in being from Earth than he does from being from Krypton. Like, he has two homes, but he is far more a human than he is an alien, and that is, I think. I don't love Gunn's Superman, but I think, it's Citizen Kane compared to this. But I really love, like, that they nailed that aspect of him. Like, I think the best scene in that movie is when they land back in Canton, Smallville, in the James Gunn one, and, like, we just get the little glimpse of, like, who Clark was. And you could just... And, like, you also feel the love James Gunn has for the character in that movie, which just, like... instantly raises it, like
empathy.
You don't feel it all. Yeah. Well, it's one thing when that movie came out last year. I remember I watched all the Christopher Reeve movies because I was like, oh, I've only seen like the first one. I never saw the sequels. And then I went back and rewatched Superman Returns because I was like, I haven't seen that like in a while. It still sucks. That's a whole other story. And
it's
then
kind of
I was
remake of Superman, right? Like the '78 one, but like without. But it doesn't really.
It's a sequel to
sequel,
it.
Yeah.
It's a weird sequel to it.
Right.
But it's the slog of a movie, the whole thing. But then I remember, like, I was thinking, like, do I want to go and watch the Zack Snyder movies? And I was like, life's too short. I don't know. Maybe I'll be in a podcast in a year from now that will want me to cover Batman v Superman.
There'll be some reason to talk about this movie again.
There's one thing that I noticed on this particular rewatch. I think this might have been maybe the third or fourth time I watched this movie. Unfortunately. But one thing I noticed is that, like, one thing that's fun of crossovers is, like, the different visual languages that, like, certain characters have. And, for example, to be very basic, Batman dark, Superman light. And this movie just fails on that basic formation where, like, when I was talking to Timmy about this, like, Gotham, I think the visual look of that is completely fine in this movie. No real complaints there. But
it looks
in terms of
Metropolis.
Exactly. That's the thing. It looks exactly the same. We're like, Gotham should
and they're
look like
across the harbor from one another, which makes zero sense.
Yeah, that's so dumb.
Isn't like Gotham supposed to be like New York, and isn't I think Metropolis is supposed to be Cleveland?
It's
something like that.
weird, like
Midwest or something like that.
Shit, like
No,
Yeah.
I think that's where the two guys who founded it. I think they were from that area. Who
Yeah.
wrote the Jerrys
Yeah.
that I can't remember, Siegel and the other guy.
But it would have been great if this movie had a color palette for Metropolis. That Metropolis was I don't know, it wasn't James Gunn Superman, where it was bright and sunny and very saturated and all this stuff. But instead, when I'm watching this, you don't have any visual distinction between the two. Where it feels like Gotham, or Metropolis rather, is the city in Seven, where it's just never sunny, and it's that works for Gotham. That does not work for Metropolis. You should have some color in your Metropolis to make it seem like here's all these things and stuff like that. And the one scene that really stood out to me was that one part where you have Clark going to Metropolis talking to Lawrence Fishburne as the Perry White character or whatever, which fine, whatever. And that whole scene is so desaturated and so white, and then you have the Lois Lane and what's called Henry Cavill in their apartment, where it looks like it's just the rainiest day possible. Where they might as well be in Gotham at that point. They might as well be fucking in Brad Pitt's apartment in Seven,
with the murkiest bathtub water ever.
Yeah, and it cuts from that to Batman. I don't know, cops fighting Batman, taking out some guys, and it just looks like the exact same color palette, and it just is so boring and so uninteresting. Where it shows Zack Snyder just has zero interest in the Superman character.
Can I also say another very major criticism I have of this movie is for they're trying to investigate each other, Batman and Superman, who's who, even though I've always felt like it's obvious, but I can suspend it for superhero logic, whatever. We get 1 5-minute fight in a movie called Batman v Superman. I understand that's more courtroom drama, but the intention is Batman versus Superman in this. And just from a screenplay element, okay, Bruce and Clark know who each other are, and Lex Luthor is trying to introduce something very dangerous to the world, and they both have two different formats that go against it, and then they both try to sabotage it. Just seems like a far more interesting plan to go about this kind of idea, where there's actual real conflict between them versus, and they have to fight, they're trying to interfere and sabotage with each other into what they're doing, something along those lines. Versus they just irrational. I understand why Bruce Wayne hates Superman. I think it's the start of this movie starts out relatively strong for this kind of a movie, really setting up where Bruce Wayne is coming from, being I do not like you what you just did, because he just watched. They basically retrofit the end of Man of Steel, where a huge criticism was why did you destroy an entire city, Superman? Why did you do,
Well, to quote Joe Biden, this is 15 9/11s.
Yeah, true. And then on the other side, you just have he's a vigilante, so the bat must be stopped. I'm I don't really know why this is Superman's domain
Superman,
here. You're also
exactly
kind of a vigilante.
Yeah.
I don't know.
100%.
I also think Superman. Oh, sorry, but
go. No, you go.
I think Superman struggles in an adaptation to film just because his only weakness is a green rock, and that's it's famously that way. It's not, you can't change it. That is what it is. So it's just uninteresting when your character is flawless.
The thing is, you can make him. The flaws have to be character based, not action based.
Okay. We're talking about we're talking about Colin Trevorrow's script here, man.
Well, it's the thing in the original Christopher Reeve Superman movie that one of the things that's brilliant about that is that the final climax is not can Superman punch his way out of this, it's can he save Lois Lane in time. And in that movie, that's what ends up being the emotional thing. And that's what the best Superman stories are at. But when you had the final fight in this movie, I just had to laugh because it felt like Batman was an annoying mosquito essentially to Superman in that fight the whole time, where he's just walking towards him, and all of a sudden he has a new trap, and he has another new trap, and one more new trap right there, over and over again. It's just oh god.
In every story where Batman fights Superman, Superman's going to win the fight unless you do a convoluted reason for Batman to win, which means that Batman's always going to win the fight because otherwise it's uninteresting. Did you guys ever play the Injustice games at all?
Oh yeah, those games rocked.
Yeah,
I played it on my phone for a little bit, so I don't know if I really played it.
So the narrative of those stories, which I do like, is that the Joker uses a fear toxin gas on Superman And so Superman thinks Superman's fighting Doomsday, but he believes that but what's actually happening is he's beating the shit of Lois Lane and killing her and their like unborn child. So Superman gets pissed off, of course, so he kills Joker and decides like, I'm going to create a fascist regime on the planet so that we're going to get rid of villainy, because like the idea we can let villains kind of like come and go is going to be bad for society, because like he's going to keep killing people. So then Superman basically like tries to get all the superhero he can on his side there. If they're on his side, he kills them off. And Batman's leading a resistance because he's against the idea of a one person completely dominating the planet. So great reason for Batman to fight Superman. So there are so many great ways you can get them to want to fight one another. But this one just, it's so clumsy with it. So actually, let's just get into the movie itself. So to get into the movie itself, we have to start off the end of Man of Steel, because Superman's fighting Zod. And then Zod's like, he has like his world destroyer things. He want to like terraform Earth into Krypton. And basically Superman, through collateral damage, kills like, I don't know, 1 billion people in Metropolis. It is just like, and everyone online complained about how like many people just died for this climax there, because Zack Snyder didn't give a shit about collateral damage in these movies, or who dies. And doesn't give a shit about this movie either, because Batman kills a lot of people in this movie too. And
true to Batman.
Yeah. So they retrofit the ending of Man of Steel to the beginning of this one, where Batman, Bruce Wayne, he's doing a Jeep commercial driving through Gotham there as
I love that.
As 9/11's happening everywhere. He calls up his office and he's like, hey, Jack, you gotta go to the office. 9/11's happening. And Jack's like, okay, yeah, sure, we'll leave. Like, look out the window, buddy. Like, you can just leave anytime you want.
You think it would have happened like way before that?
Yeah. And like you see like this world, like the spaceship up there where like you have like the Kryptonian spaceship there, like trying to destroy the place. You see one of my favorite parts of Man of Steel is Christopher Maloney and Richard Schiff. They're on that ship there, and like Christopher Maloney's like says some bullshit line about how like, you know, a good death is a brave death. Like he's a Klingon, and suicide bombs like this Kryptonian ship without even consulting Richard Schiff. Like it's just like, it's all hype and ornaments for Zack Snyder. So like,
yeah.
Anyways, the gist of it all is that like everyone sees that these Kryptonians, aliens, they're dangerous for humanity because they don't give a fuck about collateral damage. And also a big part of the sequence too is that Scoot McNairy plays a Wayne Enterprises employee who gets his like legs crushed under a girder. Batman tries to save him, but like, Bruce Wayne, Ben Affleck is fucking pissed off at all this stuff.
Yeah,
and
best scene in the movie, by the way.
When he's livid, yeah, just like looking up at the sky there, like
even the scene of like all the rubble happening and like, you know, one of the buildings collapsed or something like that, and everyone else is running away, but then you have fucking Ben Affleck just running straight towards it. I mean, it's another aura moment, but I thought that was like a good like almost character thing that shows something
that he's a heroic. But like I just thought it introduced the Batman conflict like perfectly, like where he's coming from. The problem is they don't follow it up, but please continue, Brian.
And the thing is that like you should think that the movie should be about humanity hating Superman because he did 9/11 to like all these people, but the movie's like no, everyone's okay with that overall except for Bruce Wayne. So they set this bullshit plot in Africa. So you guys watched the theatrical cut. I watched the extended cut, which is a half an hour long, R-rated.
God bless you.
The way the theatrical cut works is that basically, like, there's a warlord there in Africa, some generic country there because it's an American movie. So
it's Top Gun. You can't give him that. I mean,
yeah. And so Superman. So sorry, Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane are there covering a story.
That's Jimmy Olsen.
That's Jimmy Olsen.
Exactly. Yeah, that's Jimmy Olsen.
So Jimmy Olsen gets executed like within like 2 seconds, which like great for starting a cinematic universe, killing off a beloved character. And then Lois Lane is like, you know, it's like I mentioned to you guys before. This is like the start of The Insider, right? With Al Pacino talking to the one guy there, asking if he's like a terrorist.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And like so, like Lois Lane's doing that, and then some militia come along, gunfire and everything, and then like Superman, he only gives a fuck about the only humanity Superman has is he loves Lois Lane because he's horny as fuck pretty much, and.
It's Amy Adams, so yeah, I get it.
Yeah, Amy Adams is really good in this movie, I would say.
You see Lois Lane's side boob in this movie. Would not expect that.
Yeah.
I think I think she's good in this movie, but she phoned in. Are you a terrorist, General? I cackled. I don't usually like. If I'm watching something alone, I don't usually laugh. I was just like, I couldn't believe that. Like that line was the first thing that came out of her mouth. I was like,
brutal.
And so like then like Superman kind of fights, like, you know, kills a bunch of these people, or like stops all these people from fighting. But there's a bunch of bullets being like spread around that like are like Kryptonian bullets or something like that. They're like something different and weird. And so everyone assumes that Superman is involved with some sort of weird African warlord conflict there. That's the theatrical cut. The extended cut, which actually makes this make sense, is that the so you know the guy with the flamethrower at the end who's trying to like burn Diane Lane to death at the end of the movie?
Yeah. With the neck tattoo. Yeah, he's
supposed to be like Firefly,
he bobs around a little bit. Yeah. He's a good. I liked him in this. He's just a little guy.
So that's KG Beast.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
So fun fact about KG Beast. So the guy who created KG Beast also created Thanos in the comics. He got paid more for KG Beast in this movie than Marvel paid him for Thanos during the entire MCU.
Who do you think made their respective companies more money, KG Beast or Thanos? It's a real head scratcher.
It's tough.
Yeah. Who would have thought?
But so what the extended cut has, which actually makes sense, is that so Superman has his laser vision and everything. So what Lex Luthor and KG Beast are doing is KG Beast is actually like burning a bunch of corpses with his flamethrower to make it seem like, oh, Superman actually killed people with collateral damage with his laser vision, rather than being some like weird bullet mystery going on there. So, but back at like in America, like everyone's like worried about this whole like Africa incident there because of the bullets. But like oh, Superman's causing too much collateral damage. But like I don't know, like wouldn't you be more worried about how like Zod Superman just like crushed every building like dominoes? Like it's just like
they rebuilt that city pretty quick.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's like no sign.
There's like no trauma. Like you even have like I don't know.
They
like,
built a memorial to Superman. Like why?
If Perry White had like some random reporter be like, "Hey, I want you to talk about like the rebuilding efforts of Metropolis or something like that," just like a quick, simple assignment, just to discuss it at all. Instead of like Metropolis, it looks like nothing happened, and Perry White doesn't care about that aspect at all.
Perry White's entire plot line in this movie, which is nothing. Lawrence Fishburne is a great actor, so all Perry White has to do is he's like. Clark Kent is wanting to investigate, do a story about Batman. Batman's been working in Gotham Metropolis for 20 years. And like Perry was like, no, that's not an interesting story. He's been around for 20 years. I want you to cover the football team. It's going to be a front page story news about the football team. And Clark Kent's like, no, I'm going to cover Batman. Well, like, he's been around for 20 years. It's not a new story.
I do want to mention something real quick on IGN. I remember when this movie was like first coming out, there was like so many news stories on IGN and other sites being like the first like filming for Batman v Superman just started, and it's a Gotham versus a Metropolis football game. And I was like, oh shit, that sounds awesome. And they just did not use that in the movie whatsoever. It just got completely cut out. Because they realized like no one gives a shit.
It's just like, who could give a shit in this universe? Like, it's just, like, it's so clumsy work. And it's all contractual obligation, right? Because, like, this was supposed to be a Man of Steel sequel, but, like, it's not. It's, like, a quick attempt to try and do a cinematic universe right away to compete with Marvel. And
the most egregious example of that, if we jump ahead a little bit, is to the point that this movie, like, has, like, right before the main climax, right before the main fight, or they just pretty much halt all momentum possible towards this movie to have Gal Gadot look at trailers for the next 3 Marvel DC movies and just like slowly click on the Cyborg one, then slowly click on the Aquaman one.
I've never felt a blockbuster just quite literally hit the pause button.
Yeah, literally, it's egregious. It's like
if that was a post movie.
If that was a post-credit scene, then, like, fine, whatever. That's what those are meant for. Like, they're teasers, essentially. But the fact that it was, like, midway through the movie is just, like, so... It's like, who gives a shit? I don't care. Like, I'm not seeing Aquaman in this movie. I don't need to see that point right before the climax. Like, it's one thing if, like, you know, you have it like, at the end.
During the climax.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
She's on a Turkish Airlines flight, like, leaving the country. Then she watches these videos. Then she joins the big fight at the end.
I just wanted to say, because I literally just had this thought, because like I did not have fun watching this movie. There's zero fun to be had watching. But I was thinking, like, Lawrence Fishburne's fantastic actor, highly decorated, one of our bests. But I was thinking, I just had this thought. Perry Ellis, if played by Wendell Pierce, who famously played Bunk Moreland on The Wire, and if he just played Bunk Moreland as like a horny sleazeball cop, smoking a cigar, drunk all the time, smoking a cigar, just being like, Clark, I don't want to hear about I'm done with Batman.
Well, did he play?
Give me 1,000 words on the.
He was.
That's all I want. That's all I want. Like I would have had a little bit of fun.
He was Perry White in the James Gunn Superman.
Oh, that's right. He was. Oh
yeah.
I don't remember a ton about the James Gunn Superman. I was like, it was the easiest. Like,
it's fun. It's good.
3 out of 5.
Like
that's
it.
probably like truly a 2.5 out of 5 for me, if we're gonna be honest. But
I thought that movie was a lot of fun because it's the only superhero movie in the past, like this whole century that remembers that a superhero movie should be empathetic towards that people and want to save people's lives.
Oh yeah.
God
100%.
forbid. God forbid.
Yeah. But so Superman's just like, so Clark Kent's investing in his Batman story because the big Batman story in his mind is I'm saying Batman a lot, but this movie is allergic to saying Batman. They say the Bat of Gotham. They say anything but Batman. This movie is ashamed to say the word Batman.
For a movie in the universe that like this character has existed for like 20 years in this universe, essentially.
It's like, but like, it's also so weird. Like, do people actually like Batman or not as a vigilante? Because it's just so like ill described.
Does anyone like anything in this universe? Is a really good question, actually.
Yeah, it's just like it's such a despicable universe that like no one really likes. But like, it's also trying to set up so much history in the past too. Like you know, Wonder Woman existed for a while because it set up the whole like the photo of World War One, which I think is good set up for the next movie, is having a photo of her and like Chris Pine, like, you know, doing whatever against the Ottoman Empire, World War One. Like
that was well set up.
Yeah, that's like the best setup for a future movie they have in the movie. But like Batman is just like, so like his big thing in the movie, he is like, there's one part where he's like I don't know, stopping a sex slave trade or something like that, and like he starts branding criminals with the bat symbol there. And
again, another classic Batman trait. Yeah,
and like, so like it seems so like I don't know what the idea where Batman brands criminals, so when they go to prison, they get fucked up and everything.
They get killed.
Which makes no sense. Like, if you are a criminal sent to jail by Batman, why would you want to help out Batman by killing someone on the inside? Like, it's like, I don't know, like, would Harley Quinn be smashing the guy's head with a mallet because, like, oh, you had the Batman brand on you because he sent you to prison? And the one thing that the extended cut does, the only other clarification it makes, is that the people who are some people get killed in prison actually have a bounty set on them by Lex Luthor. So Lex Luthor is the reason why these people are dying in prison during the sake of this movie. But
that makes more sense.
It makes more sense, but why still is Batman branding people with the Bat logo? Like,
because
it's so dumb. Because like when you think of like one of the best episodes ever of the Batman animated series is when all the superheroes like basically like, or all the villains rather, go over a table and the poker game and talk about like, yeah, Batman fucked me up this time. Batman fucked me up this time. And it seems like that'd be more the thing. It's like, yeah, this guy's a fucking pain in our asses. They wouldn't be like, oh, you have the Bat symbol, you're dead. Fuck you.
And
dumb movie.
It's such clumsy world building, but it's just like, I don't know. It makes Batman because Batman's a huge asshole in the movie, and Superman is an asshole too because like you never see. Okay, first, what's your temperature check? What are your guys' thoughts on Henry Cavill as Superman?
He's a handsome guy.
He looks the part. I could say that. I don't know. He's just like a boring, non-charismatic actor in a way that role should be.
His filmography is embarrassing when you look at it, and his best performance is Mission Impossible Fallout by far.
Yeah, like, 100%.
It's the only time. I've had this take for a while. When you look at our like truly great super like movie stars, like when you look at like a Leo, you look at a Tom Cruise, just like recent examples, and you look at their filmographies. There's not a ton of misses in there. There's a lot. There's just, I think, the superpower of a great actor is script selection. And I don't know if everybody gets to the financial security that they have where they can. This year's crop of scripts have just not been to my liking. I don't think these are going to be hits. I'm ready to move on. I don't know if guys really get that kind of. Not a ton of people are able to get to that point of financial security.
But Henry Cavill has he has Superman money as well as his Witcher money. He can afford to take some choices.
Yeah, you think so? I mean,
he spends a lot of money on Warhammer 40K, man. I don't know.
To be honest,
building computers is fucking expensive these days with the RAM prices.
Well, he's burning money right there. Because like when you get done to Mission Impossible Fallout, the most badass scene in the last 20 years is Henry Cavill pretty much reloading his fists right when he's about to fight Tom Cruise. It's one of those things where you see that movie every time you see it, like, holy shit, let's go. Yeah. But again, it's the only time he's ever been like awesome in a movie.
I also love during the Justice League reshoots where they were like, add something in of Superman being a hero, and the infamous CGI over the mustache for this, because like he's like, Tom Cruise was like, yeah, I mean, Henry, you can shave, but think about what's going to do more for your career at this point. And he probably was like, yeah, you know what, you're right. Hey, you're going to have to spend like $10 million getting all of this off of my face, by the way.
Yeah, and like, honestly, if Tom Cruise ever offers you career advice, I would take it. Even if it includes joining Scientology, it's probably the right choice to do for your career in Hollywood.
Yeah, I guess it is. It's is it anymore though? I feel like it doesn't.
Will Smith won an Oscar like 2 years ago, so.
Dude, underreported thing is Will Smith smacking he smacks Chris Rock and then wins the Academy Award in the same show. And then I remember I was in Barnes and Noble. I was just like I was browsing the shelves, and I didn't know that a Will Smith biography was published, and it came out in 2021. The slap happened in 2022, and I'm like, this is a dated book. This book is like 4 months old, and it's a wildly dated book.
Yeah. Does it feature anything about?
Like, I did not read the. I can't say I don't have. I read history books, and yeah, I read history books about World War II. That is pretty much I get my fiction from film, and I get my nonfiction from books. That's kind of how I make the distinction.
I will say real quick that the only time I've ever been to an Oscar party at a bar was during that Oscars, and perfect time ever to be at a bar with other people being like, wait, did he just slap Chris Rock?
Yeah.
Was this a bit?
It was
exactly.
funny. And the most underreported thing with that too is that was Chris Rock was presenting Best Documentary Feature. And Best Documentary Feature went to Summer of Soul, which is about the Harlem music festival.
The Questlove
as Woodstock. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was about black excellence and pacifism during the wake of the Vietnam War and everything. And so black people coming together and celebrating vitality and family and being together. And then having before that award, Chris Rock getting slapped in the face by Will Smith for a movie which is supposed to be King Richard. That movie fucking sucks ass. That movie is a complete lie about how the guy abandoned his first family and then found a second family and tried to use that family to make him money by becoming a tennis coach. That movie completely ignores the fact he abandoned one family because the Williams twins, Williams sisters, they produced the movie.
It's kind of like Michael, where it was like the dad's the bad guy. I mean, he was bad, but it was only the belt, and it was like, are you forgetting that they he put salt in the wounds? This guy is a villain,
monster,
this guy is an actual monster.
Yeah. And but also this franchise too. Will Smith plays Deadshot in the sequel Suicide Squad.
God. Well, we talk about the trailers of the DC movies, and especially this era, where the point that Suicide Squad was edited, they made the people that edited the trailer edit the Suicide Squad movie because everyone loved the trailer, so let's do it. That's how desperate things were.
Those are two different styles that you need, a trailer edit and a film edit are two wildly those are two different editing skills.
You really had to fuck up with Batman v Superman when you have those two characters for the first time ever in a film, and you didn't even gross $1 billion. That should have been an easy, clear billion.
But word of mouth was terrible.
Exactly. I mean, understandably.
I remember word of mouth was terrible. It was but I had already bought a ticket or whatever, and I was like, okay,
going in.
All right, I'm going in. Let's go to the.
I saw it I saw it 8:30. No, I saw it 8:30 in the morning at the theater near my college.
Talk about ruining your day.
Day of release, and my roommate or my friend was like, "Fuck, we're doing this." Awful. Awful
dragged
time.
a friend to see it the weekend.
We're in the
after it
second
came
row
out.
too.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
I only saw it because I heard about the Martha reveal, and I'm like, I have to see it in the theater. I have to know how bad it is. And when it happened, I burst out laughing so fucking hard, and I was the only one in my theater laughing at the Martha reveal because it's so fucking stupid. I had to see it to believe it. Like, I had to see it to believe it.
Yeah. It's incredible. It's just like the clunkiest thing possible. Again, like you said, like execution just is not this movie's strong suit whatsoever.
Yeah. So like the premise. So like at this point, so like Clark Kent is doing some reporting on Batman. Perry White's like, hey, you can't do that because you got to focus on the football story. And so Batman is trying to find like ways to like diffuse this superhuman threat of Superman because he is a threat, which absolutely he's kind of right about that. And so he's trying to investigate something called the White Portuguese. And there's like, White Portuguese is some cargo I really want. And long story short, the White Portuguese is a boat that's carrying some Kryptonian rock there. And both Lex Luthor and Bruce Wayne have figured out like this Kryptonian rock is going to be a weapon against Superman. But also like both of them kind of think this is going to be a weapon against all superpower people, which makes no sense at all because like Lex Luthor's also, because he's came up with all the YouTube videos of like Aquaman, the Flash, and Cyborg.
He created those aura videos.
The funniest thing about that is that he's created the little logos for them too. Like Lex Luthor, is he the one that came up with the branding for Wonder Woman? Did he come up with the branding for Cyborg? Like,
and workshopped it.
So they're all trying to like. So those two are trying to get like this kryptonite thing there, and so there's Superman hearings going on. The Holly Hunter as Senator Finch is running.
What a delight! What a delight, Holly Hunter. It's always great to see her.
It's great, but she has nothing to do in this movie.
Oh no! Nobody has anything to do in this movie. But I'm just saying, you know what? It's just like she has terrible dialogue she has to deliver, and I have fun hearing her just say anything. So I'm Brian. I'm really trying to find anything positive to say here, okay? And just Holly Hunter being an American national treasure is, a good thing, in my opinion.
So, like, she's having, like, run Superman hearings because the Africa stuff, not the 9/11s, because that's okay, and trying to figure out what happened in Africa Superman there. And Lex Luthor is kind of trying to get some access to the Kryptonian ship that Zod had in the first movie, and, kind of get stonewalled by that. But, so Batman's also like there's one event that Lex Luthor's hosting that both Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent go to together, and with that really clumsy dialogue where like Lex Luthor's like, oh, Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne like finally meeting with one another, like,
and they
why would they ever meet? Why would he's a reporter and he's a billionaire? Why would they ever meet?
Yeah,
why is that a big deal?
Sounds like Clark Kent's a nobody, and like the other planet has like Lois Lane as their megastar, not him.
Yeah.
But at this event here, we get a mysterious woman, Diana Prince, who's played by Gal Gadot, and she is doing some mysterious sleuthing around, which is just Zack Snyder riffing on doing the exact same thing that with Anne Hathaway did in Dark Knight Rises as Selena Kyle. It's literally the exact same scenes of Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle together as it is with like Bruce Wayne and Diana Prince there. It is such like Zack Snyder. We get it. You saw the Nolan movies.
We all did,
but lacking the charisma of Anne Hathaway. Gal Gadot is she is a supermodel that they turned into a movie star, and she would have been great in the silent era in the 1920s.
I think so. My take on Gal Gadot is that like when she first popped up in Fast and the Furious 4. I thought she was effective, and I think her as a performer has gotten worse and worse every single movie. There's a steep decline. She's only become worse over time. I like her in those Fast and Furious movies to begin with, and I think that she's okay in this movie. I think she's a decent Wonder Woman the first Wonder Woman movie because she's playing a fish out of water. So her kind of being awkward actress works well with that. But like other than that, she is just
she was, another positive for Gal Gadot is that she really helped us all get through the COVID-19 pandemic.
Where would I have been without that imagine? Yeah.
One of the more dumb actor when you really have to realize like most actors are really just
Out of touch.
dumb. Like, dumb. Just, like, that's
My
not even
favorite
out of touch.
was, like...
It's just so dumb. It's like, people are struggling to get food on the table, and then these people are, like, singing from their mansions. Imagine there's no heaven. And you're just like, oh,
I love that
God.
Chris O'Dowd said in an interview about that. He's like, yeah, Kristen Wiig told me it was like for charity or something like that. So I was like, sure, I'll do that.
I gotta look up all the celebrities, because like, thing is, everyone always thinks of Gal Gadot, but there's a lot more.
Millie Bobby Brown's in it.
Sarah
Kristen Wiig.
Silverman.
I got a list here. All right, Gal Gadot, Kristen Wiig, Jamie Dornan, Labyrinth, James Marsden, Sarah Silverman, Eddie Benjamin, Jimmy Fallon, Natalie Portman, Zoe Kravitz, Sia, Amy Adams, Leslie Odom Jr., Pedro Pascal, Chris O'Dowd,
Oh, God.
Will Ferrell, Mark Ruffalo, Nora Jones, Ashley Benson, Cara Delevingne, whatever you pronounce that, and Maya Rudolph.
Oh, God.
It's
Awful.
It's the most Hollywood way of being like, how can we help in this situation, but not actually contribute anything? You know what I mean? It's just,
Yeah,
it's
like,
just
you
like,
could've donated some
this will
money
be
to
a morale.
backstories.
This will be a morale booster, guys. And it's like, no, it's not.
Man, you know what morale booster was awesome though, when PlayStation offered you some free video games to stay at home and play them. That rocked.
That was
I
great.
didn't
That
own a
was-
PlayStation at the time, so I can't
Yeah.
confirm or deny.
I
but
started and
got
beat
insane
23 games
I got
during COVID.
insane at Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
I-
I can't confirm. Timmy beats my ass every time in Mario Kart. It's insane.
Me and my cousins played for like 3 to 4 hours every night for like 3 months straight. I'm like, it sucks because like I really like playing Mario Kart, but nobody wants to play with me anymore. I just got too good.
It's tough. It's you're too good.
I am.
My
Thank you.
COVID project, I watched all of Star Trek.
Oh yeah.
Like
all
every
of it, pretty
um,
much the whole thing.
oh,
Like
I-
every series, every movie, everything.
I literally started and beat 23 games during COVID. And just like constantly, we're like, I rebeat all the Batman Arkham games. So I was like, I haven't played
Those
these in a
games
while.
are so good.
I bought the Criterion channel subscription during
Oh,
that
hell yeah.
time, and like I ripped through a bunch of classic movies on there. Seventh Seal being like a true standout.
So good.
So good. But that
I
was-
watched Slop. I took shrooms and watched Superbad.
I watched so many Lifetime original movies with my friends doing virtual movie nights. Like
Oh, yeah.
so many Lifetime originals. Like this.
That's crazy. That's a crazy sentence.
Like
Love
pretty
that.
much the reason like I started doing Letterboxd a lot is because Lifetime movies tend to have 2 titles for some reason.
Yeah.
So like I was forgetting which movies I was watching because it was like, oh, like we got like half an hour into a movie. Like wait, we watched the movie like last week, but like they have the exact same premise, but like 2 different titles.
That's
Incredible.
So similar.
and they were so memorable that a week later it took you half an hour to be like, hey, wait a minute.
There's
There's
a lot
also
of
COVID brain.
You know, COVID brain, cannabis, alcohol. There's a lot of things going into it. Was Batman v Superman on the Criterion Channel?
Yeah.
Of course.
That-
Yeah. Right up there, front and center.
Not no. So they added it. They added it. No, they did add it. I don't know if you guys remember this. It was actually the reason I canceled my subscription. It was in the year 2021. They did 20 years of 9/11, and they wanted to emphasize the best indicators, the best 9/11 movies. So like World Trade Center was on there. It was a very random list, very unlike
United
them.
93,
Was
Batman v
Remember Me on
Superman.
there? Robert Pattinson?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, of course. Oh me and my girlfriend were just talking about this because she was. I'd never heard of this movie, and then she starts talking about it, and then it's like, yeah, and then it ends with Robert Pattinson in an office, and I just jokingly go, and then the camera pans out, and it's the Twin Towers, and she goes, yeah. Have you seen it? I was like, no, I don't even know what you're talking about. I just thought that would be funny.
Yeah. 1 second.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, do you have it?
Of course. Look at that.
If you-
Look at that.
If you're
library
about to
there.
pull it out. Hell yeah. Let's go. Let's go.
I own the movie on DVD.
Hell yeah. Dude.
I remember my dad saw that in theaters and he told me like the twist afterwards. He was like, yeah, and then it turns out it's 9/11 the whole time.
See,
I-
I watched it because it had Claire from Lost in it, Emily DeRaven. So I didn't know what the twist was until I actually watched the movie completely fresh. I'm like, I burst out laughing at the reveal of 9/11.
That
What
is
a way,
also
what a way.
stunning, like 10 years post 9/11 to do that. Like, that is a stunning marvel that they actually did this.
Also, yeah, it has like no hint that's 9/11, right? Isn't like the whole thing?
No, it is just like
it's like a shock twist.
Drama.
Unless there's
more movies should end like that. It's just like
The Odyssey.
Ends up being 9/11.
It reveals like Odysseus and his wife like go off at like, the sunset there.
Hey, a tower
zooms out a little bit more. It's a nice, beautiful day in New York Harbor.
A tower does collapse in.
It does.
The Odyssey. Yeah. Also, I was thinking about this. The end of the Odyssey is very Return of the King coded, like the end of Return of the King, where like all the hobbits are just standing there and they're saying goodbye, going off to the whatever lands. I was just like, yeah, wow. I was like, wow, like Tolkien really borrowing from the classics, huh? Like sorry. Okay.
I don't think Zack Snyder borrowed too much from the classics in this one.
Yeah, no, unfortunately not. But like it's again, like we talk about like so many scenes where like there's a whole scene where Superman sees like, I don't know, like the fire in some random building like during a Day of the Dead like celebration, and then it cuts to like Superman and then like all these people painted in skulls, and just like it's purely just for aura moment, like look how cool this image looks of all this, and it's just like it's dumb. It's just like, whoa.
How about the
way that specific scene, like Henry Cavill plays it with like no enthusiasm at all. Henry Cavill throughout 2 movies has had zero interest in saving people's lives. It feels like it's a burden for him. It feels like he's like, oh, fuck, save you. I fucking hate that. You know what scene is the best scene in Man of Steel is the funniest scene is when Pa Kent dies, Kevin Costner. Because like he's like stop, don't do that, and because like he wants to save the dog from a car, and like Clark Kent could do like a light brisk jog, but like no, you'll reveal yourself to be a superhero if you do that. So he's like kills himself for no reason. It's so fucking funny. But also Kevin Costner has the funniest scene in this movie too, which we'll get to in a little bit.
Dude, he has the Han Solo in the Rise of Skywalker reveal in there. At least Kevin Costner appeared like he wanted to be there. Harrison Ford in The Rise of Skywalker was literally like, "You'll pay me how much? And I don't have to cut my hair.
My bank account is this."
But speaking of the dream sequences, because there's so many dream sequences in this movie. It opens up with one, and it opens up with a dream sequence of like Bruce Wayne, like
the origin story.
It's origin story. So you get to see like the Thomas and Martha Wayne, of course, die at Crime Alley. But because it's a Zack Snyder movie, like when the guy pulls the trigger on Martha Kent, there is an inner face. It's all like it's like fellatio.
And slow motion
explode, and then you can see like Thomas Wayne be like Martha, and then Thomas and then Bruce Wayne is like as a little boy, he's like he falls down a hole, and then the bats rise him up, and we get another dream sequence with Bruce Wayne where like he's he goes to the Wayne's crypt or something, and there's like a weird monster in there that means nothing. But with the gala that he was at with Gal Gadot there, he like stole like a thumb drive, and he's starting to decrypt the thumb drive on his Bat computer. And so he's like, it's 1%. He pulls a Tommy, falls asleep while watching it.
As one does, as I do.
And he has this dream sequence. It's like sometime in the future, some desert climate there. Batman is like dressed up like a Ninja Turtle going to a theater, and like he's like big clunky coat, and like he's like trying to get some sort of item from like some weird like crate or something like that. There's a lot of soldiers going on. There's like it's a desert climate. Everything's everything's destroyed, and then like he gets like he looks into something. It's just some like oh fuck, it's not what I wanted. And he starts like shooting people with guns and everything, which again, Batman's just murdering people with guns in this movie. And then he gets like knocked out, and he sees Superman. And Superman like kills more people because the movie loves having these people just murder people. And he like confronts like Batman there, and is like she was my everything. Lois Lane is my everything. How could you do this to me? And I think it's supposed to be like sequel setup, but like. And it is sequel setup because the Justice League Snyder Cut has this as a post-credits thing, this reality. But like, it's so like, does Batman have the gift of prophecy or something? So then Batman
It doesn't
wakes
explain it.
So Batman then wakes up from this dream, and then he has a time traveler come talk to him. The time traveler is Ezra Miller as the Flash, as our first introduction to the Flash. And it's like, Bruce Wayne, you gotta, like, Lois is the key to everything. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait, am I too early for this time travel stuff? And he just disappears. It means nothing, because it's funny going back to the movie, too, because, like, this movie was setting up a lot of other movies, and those movies didn't pan out because everyone fucking hated this movie.
It is egregious because it's like almost like the Skeletor at the end of He-Man coming up and being like, "I'll be back," or whatever, and it's just like it's a total sequel setup and just like falls flat. Where it's like, yeah, well, we didn't see any of this shit in the future and stuff like that. And like the one thing I don't need in my movie is an Ezra Miller jump scare.
No, God, no! You feel like you're gonna be chokeslammed or join a sex cult or something.
yeah, exactly.
Well, hey, who here hasn't?
But the course correction with Batman and Superman in this movie is so funny too, because in Shazam, the two kids in that movie, they are obsessed with Batman and Superman. They love them so much. Like, they're big heroes, inspiration. They inspire them to become good people. But like, I don't know, the Batman and Superman I saw in this movie are huge fucking assholes. They hate themselves. They hate people. They hate saving people. They only save people because they have to, which is a Marvel problem too. Like, no one in a Marvel movie, an MCU movie, actually wants to save people because they feel good about it. They're doing it because they're obligated to do it. But this one, they feel like the disdain for it. And it's just so frustrating to watch. Like, I remember when I first saw this movie, I wrote on Facebook, Batman vs. Superman is a spectacular movie because it managed to be both the worst Batman movie and the worst Superman movie. And people got so mad at me about that. Like, you can hate that so much. I'm like, no, but like, this is a horrible Batman movie because like Batman is like not what Batman should be. And Superman is absolutely not what he should be either. And I'm okay with adaptation choices, but like, this is just a botched way to do it.
But it's character.
It's dumb backstory shit.
But it's character assassination for wildly well established and like especially Batman with the killing. Like, it's literally like Bruce's thing throughout like the 3 movies is like no guns, no, like there's a whole scene which is kind of clunky and begins with like Bruce Wayne wanting to kill the guy who shot his parents.
Yeah. And
then throws the gun away and is like, "You're right. You're right, Katie Holmes, Scientologist Katie Holmes. I will throw this into the... I will not use guns." And Batman in this movie loves his guns, man. And
he's like, I just love killing people left and right. That's my thing.
I don't know if you guys ever watch Cosmonaut Picture Show, but he's talked about this movie ad nauseum, and he's like a huge comic book nerd, and he's like, the unforgivable thing about this is he's like, Batman shouldn't even be dreaming about using a gun. That's how much he hates guns. Like,
well, it's the weird thing that the movie tries to set it up as like Bruce Wayne's been broken, but it doesn't like explain that or go through it at all. And, like, the only hint of it is that you have like some stupid fucking Easter egg of like what's supposed to be Robin's suit, and the Joker being like, "Ha ha ha, Batman, the joke's on you." It's just like, cool. What does that mean? Like, I know Jason Todd died in the comics. Why don't you like have anything that tells me instead of just being like, "Oh, yeah, that's a fucking dead Robin right there."
This movie would be infinitely improved if it was the 3rd movie in the franchise, not the 2nd.
Oh, yeah.
If they had any Batman setup to go for.
Because it's literally the whole movie just feels rushed and feels desperation from Warner Brothers being like, well, Avengers made a bunch of money. We have our own Avengers. Why don't we just do that?
They should have just made Ben Affleck a continuation of Christian Bale's like post Dark Knight. Just pretend the Dark Knight Rises doesn't happen and just like fill that land and territory in there, because then at least the audience can like surrogate in to the situation, versus this where it's just like
because
what are we doing? I kept asking myself this.
It is funny because this is the same summer that Captain America Civil War came out. And I'm not gonna say that movie's amazing, but at least when we got to Captain America and Iron Man fighting, we've had at least a few years of fucking movies with those two characters interacting with each other and, fight. When they actually fought, it like felt meaning within that universe. Whereas this, we only have one movie of Henry Cavill, and we're just introduced to Ben Affleck, and it just falls flat. Well, I know those two characters are iconic. Those specific iterations are not at that point.
So Captain America Civil War is a movie that when I watched that movie, I think that 12-year-old me, if I was 12 years old when it came out, it'd be my favorite movie ever. It just like combines so many elements I would absolutely love, and like there's something about that movie which like it has its absolute flaws, but like it tickles something in my like preteen brain that would be like, this is so fucking cool and awesome.
The hangar fight's sick. You can't deny having like 10 of the biggest Marvel heroes like just duking it out.
Also, like it's so casual too, because like it's not it's an Avengers movie, but like it's not marketed as one. It's like just like you just casually have like all the big people in one movie. It's just like that's so cool. But also that movie, what Captain America Civil War does really well too is like all the marketing was like, whose side are you on, Tony Stark or Steve Rogers? But the whole movie is like you are on Steve Rogers' side. It's a one-sided thing.
You have to be insane to be on Iron Man's side.
This movie Batman Superman tries to suggest like you should really care about the journeys, about why they hate one another. But like the thing is, they both suck. They both suck ass, and like it's hard to really give a fuck about either of them because like they're both huge assholes. Batman is fucking killing people in prison, and Superman is just doesn't give a fuck anyone at all. We see him kill millions of people in the last movie, and we have one sequence here because like he's trying to get on. Batman is getting the White Portuguese, the ship there is finally arriving to Gotham. So Batman is just like has one sequence there where he is taking the Batmobile, and just like the collateral damage to all these like guards of the ship there, it's gotta be in the dozens. He's killing a lot of people to get this like kryptonite rock there.
He's using guns in its car.
Yeah, guns in the car. He's taking like grappling hooks, hooking them at the cars and launching them at other cars there too, which is like good for the hype and horror moments for Zack Snyder, but it's just like you are getting so many people killed for like nothing, and it's just then the sequence ends with like Superman arriving and it's like, hey, like stop being Batman or else like this is your final escape here because otherwise I'm gonna kill you. And then the funniest part of the movie happens around now where Lex Luthor and Holly Hunter, they have this like tete-a-tete behind closed door, and she's like, oh, you can't tell me that Granny's peach tea is piss or else I'll throw you, or whatever, or some bullshit like that, but how like, you can't lie to me like that. And during the Superman hearings, Scoot McNairy shows up in a wheelchair that Lex Luthor gave him. And
can I also say, just my one note on this character that I sent to Tommy is, because he has this whole thing happen because he was vandalizing the Superman statue and gets arrested, and there's just a background ADR line of dialogue that says, vandalism comes with a 40-year prison sentence. Now, like, I get they're harsh on crime here, but that seems like, that's like that's a life sentence for a little spray paint. I just feel like, $1,000 fine, slap on the wrist, you're on your way. I feel like that's usually what vandalism is. That's an insane line of dialogue.
Yeah, but
you don't fuck up the Superman statue.
God forbid.
So CNN had a contract with this movie because every CNN anchor is in this movie.
Awful.
And
it's one thing I hate about modern movies, and it feels like it happens more and more. I mean, it's more a thing of the last decade. Where, like, I don't know, 30 years ago, it's been a random actor played the news anchor, but like nowadays, like it happens in Mission Impossible too, where it's just like all of a sudden you have an Wolf Blitzer, you have fucking Anderson Cooper, Nancy Grace is in this fucking movie for some reason.
Why is Nancy Grace in this movie?
I don't need that.
Lex Luthor kills Soledad O'Brien in this movie.
Yeah. Insane. And like you have Anderson Cooper like deliver like the most clunky fucking exposition for the final act where it's like, oh, and conveniently no one's here in this major city right when this battle's about to happen, so you don't have to worry about all the shit from the last movie. It's like, fuck off, Anderson Cooper.
God forbid.
One of these CNN anchors describes what happens in the monument as a hate crime, but like I'm sorry, but like, okay, Superman is the ultimate minority. There's only one Superman on the planet. There's only one Kryptonian on the planet, but like, is it a hate crime if the guy has mega powers and kills with X-ray vision,
and has killed millions of people?
Yeah, like
Is it a hate crime to desecrate a statue of Adolf Hitler? Like, these are questions that this movie brings upon my brain. And
So during these Superman hearings, Holly Hunter is like, Superman finally shows up to Washington D.C. and is like ready to talk and everything. Holly Hunter is like ready to go for a big I'm going to run for a president kind of speech, so this is going to be very important for me. And then she looks at her desk there and like turns over a mason jar. This is Granny's peach tea on it. And it's the darkest urine you can possibly imagine. So Lex Luthor places urine there. And so she's probably sniffing the piss and everything. And then Scoot McNairy's wheelchair, which has lead on the inside, which I think is only mentioned in the extended cut, not the theatrical cut.
Definitely. Not theatrical.
So that's why Superman cannot see the wheelchair, is because of the lead inside of it, because of the X-ray vision. So, Scoot McNairy explodes and blows up all of Congress, and including
to Breaking Bad.
And then a jar of piss explodes in Holly Hunter's face and everything. And Superman doesn't really save anyone at all, and he gets all pissed off and sad. And people are like, oh my god, because Superman blow up Congress? And they kind of realize pretty quick that it was Lex Luthor, so that doesn't even matter either. That wasn't Superman that did it. But Superman gets all sad. He goes back to Lois Lane's apartment, and he's like, I didn't notice it because I didn't give a fuck about humanity anymore. So, maybe I should stop being Superman. And then he flies to the Fortress of Solitude. He just kind of doesn't even go inside because he can't afford to do this movie. And then he goes on a walk in the Arctic. And in the walk, this is the best scene in the movie. I love the scene so much. Where he goes on a walk in the snow and everything. And then he sees Pa Kent. So he sees Kevin Costner in a cameo in this movie. And Kevin Costner gives his speech. And this speech is when I was a young, strapping teenager boy working at the farm and everything, there was a flood happening. So we dug a ditch and we flowed a river somewhere else. And my mom was so proud of me that she baked us a cake, a hero's cake. But then as we were eating our hero's cake, the flood killed all the Lang family's horses. And so as I was eating my hero cake, I could hear in my dreams, I could hear the horses all drown. Which is the exact same speech that Jodie Foster gives in Silence of the Lambs about all the lambs dying. And I don't know what the fuck the message is supposed to be. Don't save people. Is it the trolley problem where, if you try to save people, it doesn't matter? It means nothing. But Kevin Costner has this big, heartfelt speech, and it means nothing to Superman as a character. And just what the fuck are we thinking with this movie?
We're padding out the runtime to make the big, dumb CGI thing mean more.
You gotta have the Kevin Costner cameo right in there.
Yeah,
I do remember. My brother was so touched by that scene. He was like, "Oh my god, that was so emotional." Granted, our dad did die months before, but still, I was like, "Jesus Christ."
Yeah, did you get to eat your hero? Did he eat his hero cake and everything? But the hero cake comment is so fun. As I was eating my hero cake, the horses drowned is the best line in the movie. It's so fucking stupid.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Because it means nothing. And Kevin Costner can sell the fuck out of this dialogue because he's a good actor. And it means nothing because Superman does not really think about whatsoever at all. And then he kind of returns to Metropolis, and we get to pretty much the final showdown in the movie because around this time Batman does this whole he does his CrossFit routine where he's smacking a tire with a hammer and everything, and it means nothing. But Zack Snyder likes CrossFit, so therefore this movie has to have some CrossFit too.
You need some Batfleck eye candy, apparently.
Yeah. And so Jeremy Irons, I think, is great casting for Alfred, but he should be more of a tempering force for what Bruce Wayne is doing, because Bruce Wayne has been as for 20 years, become a vindictive asshole, and Jeremy Irons needs that one big speech about this is not who you used to be, but that's not in the movie.
There's zero character motivation and zero character moments like that where you could have had real hype of being I remember back in the day when you had Robin, and the fact that they have a dead Robin suit, they don't even bring up Robin whatsoever. It's just okay,
that would be fantastic motivation for Batman being bad. If Bruce Wayne was being a kind of a complete dick because he lost a Robin or two or three, you could do a lot with that. But
exactly, you could have Jeremy Irons being I remember when you and Robin were going the streets and it was so much fun, and you were having you were doing great and you're doing all this great work, and then when you lost him, you just never recovered. You were never the same. Instead, it's just I don't know, just fucking cut out. Snyder's not interested in character moments at all. And it's crazy that this movie's written by an Oscar-winning fucking screenwriter, the guy who wrote Argo.
Okay, to be fair, though, Argo did not deserve the best screenplay Oscar.
Yeah.
I like Argo.
Weird campaign season for sure.
Chris Terrio, didn't you also write? What was there when he wrote?
He wrote The Rise of Skywalker.
He wrote
Rise of
Justice
Skywalker,
League and Rise of Skywalker and Zack Snyder's Justice League. Terrible filmography.
Yeah.
And also, David S. Goyer wrote this, and he wrote The Dark Knight. So it's just like, how much influence did you really have in The Dark Knight, Goyer? Let's be real here.
I know, right? Like, it really shows, like, oh yeah, Nolan was really the mastermind behind that one.
It's like the classic Family Guy bit of Good Will Hunting with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. It's like Good Will Hunting by Matt Damon, and you just see Ben Affleck on the couch being like, "I was here too. You got to put my name on there."
Yeah.
But yeah. So Superman's now back in Gotham / Metropolis because they're the same fucking city in this movie. It doesn't really fucking matter anymore because no one gives a fucking shit in this movie. Like, why are they beside each other? Like, it makes zero sense at all. Like, because Batman can go far. He has a Batmobile. He has like fucking bat jets, whatever. He can do what the fuck he wants. And Superman has super speed. Why not set them to be like, I don't know, Metropolis is even like 2 kilometers down the road. It makes no sense. It's just kind of like Manhattan and like Queens. Like,
it's more Minneapolis. Like
the Twin Cities.
It's like the Twin Cities. It's like Minneapolis and St. Paul. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but they could even just like set the start of the movie because like I get where they're trying to go. Like, how do you get Bruce Wayne to be there for 9/11? I don't know. Just have Bruce Wayne be there for a work trip or something. Like,
maybe
Lex
Corp
a company. Yeah.
You could easily see Wayne having like a fucking office in like Metropolis. So that's not a stretch whatsoever.
Imagine like a spy thriller where like Wayne Enterprises and LexCorp are like heavily intertwined, and then Batman starts doing some investigation into the corporation or something, and like his hatred towards Superman is completely like. I feel like I'm not reinventing the wheel here. I'm just saying very basic run-on sentences, you know?
well, even like Batman Begins has like Bruce Wayne trying to get himself back into Wayne Enterprises with like he's been gone for so long, so he's kind of investigating things. And
it's the Dark Knight. He does it to investigate the mob's money.
Yeah, like it's smart storytelling decisions, and like this movie just does not care about that whatsoever. And at this point in the movie, Lex Luthor is so like Batman, has a big montage of him with Kryptonian weapons of kryptonite there, spear and everything. He's ready to go fight Superman, like kill him at some point in time. And Lex Luthor takes Amy Adams to the top of a building and pushes her off of it. And Superman gives a fuck about Amy Adams, but not his own mom. So he's able to save Amy Adams right away and come up there. And Lex Luthor has this like a pontificating monologue about like, you need to go kill Batman, or else I will kill your mother, who I have tied to a chair and have KGBs with a flamethrower pointed at her head. And he has all these like the photos of like all these Polaroids of like Diane Lane.
It was like a Joker move.
Yeah, and it's just like witching
up
in her forehead and everything, and it's like all these Polaroids of her like almost like being gagged and tied to a chair like it's something sexual.
Yeah, it's odd.
It's bizarre, and Tim, like you said earlier, like it does seem like it's almost more of a Joker move, and it seems more of like a Joker like thing. Like if this is like Jesse Eisenberg doing Joker, like fine, whatever. But it's just like I don't know, it's just this weird, twitchy, nervy performance. It doesn't work.
My exposure to Lex Luthor is really from like random episodes of like Superman the animated series that aren't like super defined in my head. But he was always like ruthless, calculated businessman, but like
smart,
calm and composed and very intelligent. Mm-hmm. And then this is just like, well, when you don't have someone intelligent writing the script, you can't write an intelligent character because like that's the baseline for the intelligence you're going to get. I am talking about who wrote what's the guy?
Chris Terrio.
Terrio. Sorry, I got Trevorrow and Terrio confused. But
Terrio's a better writer than Trevorrow.
In my head,
again, not say much.
In my head, they're the same guy, and I stand by that. But I really
they both almost wrote Episode 9 of Star Wars, so
they're both hacks, and that's okay. But I like, like I was even thinking like going back to like when they're having the party at Lex Luthor's house and Batman's trying to steal the information or whatever off the computer, like. That could be like a really like Zack Snyder can't do tension at all. Like he can't build any tension.
No.
Like Batman Bruce Wayne having to handle this thing, and then the lady from is she in John Wick?
I think the Asian lady. I'm blanking on her
Oh,
name. I think she's in like the later Mission Impossibles. I think. No, she's in the later Mission Impossibles. That's what I'm
yeah.
thinking. She's in 7, 1, and 2.
She's apparently going to be in the new movie by Rizuki Hamaguchi, the guy to drive my car.
Oh,
I think she won
love Drive My Car.
Can for that. And they just announced some of the TIFF schedule today, so like that movie's playing at TIFF, and that's like one of the top movies I want to see.
That's
I'm
awesome.
gonna try to get a ticket to that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
But like, she blows up with along the piss in Scoot McNairy's wheelchair at Congress there for no reason.
But also like she like catches Bruce Wayne in like a server room downstairs where guests are not supposed to be, and it's like, Bruce, what are you doing here? And he's just like, I don't know. And
I'm drunk.
He's like, I'm drunk, and she's like, okay, why don't you come with me? And then Gal Gadot's able to go down there and steal it, but like there's no tension. Like it should be a very like downloading something off a computer that you're not supposed to be download off of is like film school level like tension building stuff that you teach. Is like you have to hide this thing and you need to hide in this office while somebody's going on and just make it tense, and then the old
There's
I'm stretching over here, my head's kind of looking at this USB device or whatever. Like this is I don't know how to make a movie, but
why not have like Bruce Wayne at this point in time like be the playboy he is and just like kind of like flirt with her a little bit to delay for some time, and then as it's happening, Gal Gadot sneaks in and does that, and he's like, "What the fuck? I was trying to like do my own plan there." Like,
who
I don't
hates
think
sex
Batman
more,
had a plan
Chris Nolan or Zack Snyder?
Pardon?
Who hates sex more, Chris Nolan or Zack Snyder?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's tough.
I don't think Christopher Nolan's not have a sucker punch in him.
I've never seen Sucker Punch.
Nolan wouldn't have fucking Superman and Lois Lane and fucking like the bathtub.
Yeah.
He has the least sexual sex scene of all time though in Oppenheimer in the chair from like Emily Blunt's perspective, God. With Florence Pugh. I
like that scene a lot.
Oh, I do too. No, it's not a criticism, but it's quite literally not sexual at all. It's a sex scene you can be comfortable watching with your parents. You know what I mean?
But like, it's funny because like you look at Justice League is a fascinating comparison point because like you have the Zack Snyder of it all and you have the Joss Whedon of it all. Ugh. And the way that Joss Whedon loves to like the camera's in like pretty much up Gal Gadot's asshole in so many shots there because Joss Whedon's a pervert.
Nice.
And Zack Snyder actually kind of respects his female actresses a lot more than Joss Whedon does.
Yeah.
But Joss Whedon wore a feminist t-shirt once.
He did, yeah.
You don't forget, yeah.
And yeah, so like, you know, like I think thing is like I feel like Zack Snyder has like he understands what's erotic and sexy in a way that Christopher Nolan like he might consider something sexy, but like he's just uninterested in sex depicted in his movies.
Oh yeah,
like, I think
that's fine.
Like, yeah, it's totally fine. Yeah, but like it's funny because like I think that there's some stuff in some movies are sexy, but also I do think that the Catwoman and Bruce Wayne stuff in Dark Knight Rises, that tat at the party there, pretty sexy. Like I think there's some stuff there with it.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's the weird thing that this movie,
Catwoman in her outfit in that one, works for me. I don't know.
Pretty hot. Yeah, it works for me. But it's the one thing with like the Gal Gadot of this movie where like it feels like just egregious sequel setup that like we already have a movie that's Batman v Superman. We don't need the final fight to have Wonder Woman or something pop up. Just save your like load a little bit, like or whatever. It just seems like at the end they just want to let it all explode at once. Where it's just like, yeah, we have the whole Trinity right here. Like let's go. Like it would have been more interesting if you just like saved like her reveal as like maybe she's Wonder Woman when Ben Affleck sees that photo of like her and Chris Pine, and like that's totally fine as a sequel setup thing where like okay fine that's this, but the fact that like they just feel the need to shoehorn her in the final fight and like that stupid line of Ben Affleck being like, I thought she was with you. It's like
that feels like a reshoot.
Yeah,
we need 100%. Some kind of humor in here. Also like in like the Marvel universe in that time like Gal Gadot's not mentioned at all, and then there's just a deleted scene from the party of like her legs like walking, like she's got those great long legs and a sexy dress or whatever, like walking, and then like just like kind of like it's her taking the device or whatever like to get the pictures or whatever, and then
Just like a quick turn, and then just that little like like that little musical motif, and you just cut. And like that works great because guess what? If I don't want to watch it, the movie's over. So like I can leave, and then if I want to see it, I see it 2 minutes later or whatever.
The one thing I'll give this movie is the Wonder Woman music is actually, I think the movie's
it does kind of rock. Yeah,
it rocks. And like when it came to the Wonder Woman movie itself, I was like, I'm excited to hear that music again.
Yeah, no, that
this is a Hans Zimmer score. I mean,
I do think the music is good in this movie. I'll give it to Hans Zimmer. But I will
always say on the big budget movies too, like even when they're real stinkers, like they have enough money to get a really good composer, and those guys really do give it their all. So like, tip of the cap to you.
But it's essentially like a Hans Zimmer type, and like, who the fuck did the music for like Captain America: Brave New World? Because like there's nothing in that movie.
Well, that's the problem with Marvel movies in general. That Marvel movies don't have Marvel music except for like the Avengers. Also, like
they had the Marvel main theme by Alan Silvestri, but my hot take is Alan Silvestri is a bad composer. Like he has the theme to Back to the Future and nothing else.
Hey, does he have the Avengers one?
He's the Avengers one, yeah.
That works.
But for 35 movies, that's the only musical cue you have. Like, that's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah. I mean, like, we can all talk about, we all know what Superman's theme is. We all know what Batman's theme is. But, like, what is Iron Man's thing? An AC/DC song?
And Hans Zimmer's Superman music for Man of Steel in the trailer there, incredible. It's great. Yeah. It's used well in this movie, too. But yeah, so at this point in the movie, we get to Batman and Superman. They're fighting one another, and Superman is trying to calm down Batman. Batman's wearing like a big like tank of an armor a little bit, and he looks like very clunky. He looks like he's wearing too big of a snowsuit or something. And Superman's like, you gotta listen to me because you gotta go save my mom. And Batman's like, no, I'm gonna fucking kill you because I'm Batman. I killed you.
It is fucking hilarious. So like he's trying, pretty much he's just been a thorn in fucking Superman's side. And Superman like straight up is like, dude, if I wanted to, I could have killed you already. Like just fucking stop. He's like, no.
Did you see what I did to Metropolis?
Bullshit.
Did you see what I did to Metropolis? I really don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Also, Batman in that looks like in a cutscene in a video game where your character's like wearing like a ridiculous outfit or something. You know what I mean? Like it's just like like when they code it properly outfit, and it's just like a character wearing something they should never wear, and it's like very funny to watch. It's like it's a little bit like that. I'm like, why is he wearing a tank outfit?
Literally, when I played Mass Effect in the past, like I like literally took off armor because like I look too clunky wearing that in cutscenes. Like this is DLC armor that was not meant to wear for cutscenes. Like,
yeah.
This does not work within the world. No, but it is so funny that like going on to the fight where like pretty much Batman only gets his upper hand when Superman gets the kryptonite gas, and like Batman does shit where he just rips out a fucking sink and just WWE style bashes it over Superman's head.
And Superman's kind of like, he's weaker now because Batman has this kryptonite gas popping up there, so like it's a bit more fair of a fight. But they're just like swinging each other into like empty buildings and bathroom stalls and shit, and it's just like, so like you get a bad reason for them to start to fight and everything, and the fight goes on. It's not that great, and it's called Batman versus Superman, and bad reason for them to fight, bad fight altogether. But of course, Batman gets the upper hand. He has a spear. Superman's face is like, I'm gonna fucking kill you because I'm Batman. Fuck you, Superman.
Famous killer, Batman.
Yeah. And then like Superman's like, oh, you gotta save Martha. And Batman's like, what the fuck did you say? Why'd you say Martha? And
I love his reaction. Why'd you say that name?
Yeah. And like,
where's the trigger?
And if we didn't do the Odyssey episode just before, I would go on for like 3 hours with this scene because this scene's like so fucking funny. And then Lois Lane runs up, Amy Adams like runs up, is like, you can't kill him. He's like, why? No, I want to kill this fucker right now. He's like, why are you saying Martha? He's like, that's his mother's name. He's like, oh.
He has a mom too? What?
Yeah. And we flash back again to the third time this fucking movie, the Wayne's dying at Crime Alley. And
in case we forgot. But we see
the Batman origin story for the 700th time in your life.
Like, I'm pretty sure they teach that in kindergarten now, the Batman origin story. We all fucking know this shit. It's like the Ortex, like the Odyssey right now at this point. And so like, Batman's just like, oh, I'm so sorry. Your mom's named Martha? I didn't know. I'm going to not kill you now. And it's just like, okay, well, Batman, you fucking idiot. Like, if the Riddler's mom was named Martha, would you have saved him? Like, what?
Well, it's like not
Brian,
even I'm not going to kill you. Yeah, I'm going to save your Martha. Like he immediately gives her a handshake. Like, hey, we're buddies now.
Here's what happened. Chris Terrio was writing the script, and it's not going great. And he only has time for one draft. Okay.
He does a Wikipedia entry.
Batman kind of has a little bit of a soft spot for his mom, and he makes the connection of being like, wow, they both have a mother named Martha. They were not inventive in the 1930s. That's crazy. So he put that in there, and then it went to Zack Snyder, and then it turns out he's not able to read. So then it goes up to Warner Brothers executives, and they just see the script title that says Batman v Superman, and they're just like, well, that's going to make $5 billion. And nobody read it until it got to stage. Yeah. Also, can I just say, dear Amy Adams, she for the most part is trying her best. I really hope she got her full quote. It's not her fault. I just felt real goodwill hunting with her in this. I have a very big soft spot for Amy Adams. I have a soft spot for beautiful redheads, it turns out.
So, you guys watched Snyder Cut, right? Justice League Snyder Cut?
Yeah, unfortunately.
It came out
So, this movie has a big subplot of Amy Adams talking to Henry Lennox, who's like an army general, and he's like trying to get information about shit. And the reveal in the Snyder Cut is that that's actually a Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
And that the Snyder Cut also has a big plot line too, where Amy Adams is like, after Superman is dead and she's like, so sad, she has like coffee with Martha Kent like 5 times in the movie. But the reveal in the Snyder Cut is that's actually Martian Manhunter, aka Martha Manhunter.
Hell yeah!
Fucking amazing. It all ties back to Martha.
It all ties back to Martha, and it's just like, what the fuck are we even doing? And so like Batman is like, oh, I'm so sorry, Superman. Your mom's name Martha, so is mine. Like, we should be best friends forever. And if I was Clark Kent, I would really fucking snap Batman's neck, being such a fucking idiot. But then all right, so they realize like Lex Luthor's the villain. Lex Luthor, meanwhile, he is at Zod's ship there. He gets Zod's body, brings him some like diarrhea poo water, some like pool there, and wants to resurrect him. Like cuts off Zod's fingertips, so he get like his for a scanner talk to the Kryptonian ship there, and he ends up getting Zod's body there and creating what they call it Doomsday in this movie. And Doomsday is usually a villain that talks and shit, but in this movie it's just some mindless monster.
Oh, I have some notes.
It's so dumb where it's just like they immediately like again blown their wad where it's like you don't do a Batman v Superman story followed by the death of a Superman story in your same movie. It's just too much at once. Where it's just like I remember like when the trailers came out, we were talking earlier how the trailers were like cool or whatever. But I remember like even at the time, people were like so pissed off because the final trailer for this movie revealed, first of all, that Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman, and second of all, that Doomsday is going to be the final big bad in this. And everyone's like, why are you revealing this in your trailer and not just have this be a surprise in your movie? Like, what the fuck? It's so dumb.
Clumsy.
Yeah.
I said, oh boy, it's patented 2010's dumb CGI monster time, because that was like a trademark of the era. Like I know everybody listening was there, but you had to be there if you're listening to this in the future. And then I go, oh boy, it's about to get real fucking dumb in this bitch. And then that's when I asked Tommy about where does Zack Snyder stands on 9/11. I was kind of jumping around, but I felt like it was important to say at this moment in time.
Yeah.
So Doomsday is going to be come and fight Batman and Superman, but also Superman and Batman is like, they're talking together like, oh, one of us has to go save Martha, like Superman's mom. And instead of Superman doing it, because Superman has like, ultra quick powers, mind you, he doesn't give a fuck about his mom, because if Amy Adams farts anywhere, he can instantly save her in Africa with super speed. But like, so Martha is like tied to it in a warehouse with a flamethrower to her face there. So Batman flies over because Jeremy Irons somehow magically able to find her instantly. And so he goes to the warehouse and fights all the bad guys. And I think this is actually a pretty cool close quarters fight scene with Batman, like, knocking everyone down there. One cool part where a guy shoots Batman in the fucking head, and because his armor there, he's able to like just bounce off, he knocks it out of the ground.
It is quite literally Zack Snyder's only strength as a director is close quarter fight scenes.
I think so.
He's pretty dang good at those. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sequence was ridiculous. The next thing I have in my notes is nukes in space. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's
Batman
right.
and Superman are trying to fight Doomsday, and like it's ineffective, and but also like Wonder Woman, she's boarding her flight to like wherever on Turkish Airlines, and she's looking at all these videos of like all the YouTube videos that Lex Luthor came with the Justice League. So there's one clip of Aquaman, he's in a boat and he takes a spear to like a drone camera. There's the Flash setup where like Ezra Miller is getting some milk at a grocery store, at a convenience store.
And he's
Probably assaulting someone at a bar.
The only note of actual heroism in the entire movie, by the way.
Yeah, but he still looks bored as they look still bored as fuck doing that scene there too, because like you can't have anyone smiling while saving people.
But you're in a Zack Snyder film, of course you're bored.
And then the most intriguing one is when Cyborg, because it's just like Ray Fisher, like, you know, it's just his head against a wall and everything, and his dad Joe Morton is as a scientist is trying to like get this like weird cube thing to accumulate with Cyborg there, creating Cyborg. But like I don't know, like if I look at these three dudes here, like I don't really think that these guys are like, oh, these are metahumans we should complete, like, you know, we'll save the planet or something like that. It's like clumsy foreshadowing for the next movie. And then Wonder Woman was like, oh, like maybe I should, like, you know, she looks at the photo of herself and like World War One is like, maybe we should go back and save people. And then she shows up in helping Batman and Superman in her Wonder Woman attire. We get the rock music happening. And they keep fighting. Doomsday is ineffective. Doomsday is some like gray blob monster, as we talked about. It doesn't really fucking matter. And Superman like brings Doomsday into space there. We get to see the sunlight because they're actually in fucking space for once. So like Zack Snyder, it's not all just cloudy shit. And the American military nukes Superman, which almost kills him.
Hilarious.
Fantastic.
A nuke getting sent into space is just terrific. There was a giant spaceship in the last movie that like from outer space, and they didn't bother. I mean, Superman was essentially a nuke, but they didn't even bother with that. And then the quickest nuke trigger finger I've ever seen in my life of just like
immediately
do it. And that was so stupid. It was remarkably dumb. I have to imagine the science of like an atomic bomb going off in space probably not working, just because like all of the science behind it is gravity and oxygen and everything that we hold dear in this world that allows us to breathe and talk on this beautiful podcast. And then they just fire into outer space and it just works.
I like to think that like if they were to drop a nuclear bomb on Metropolis in the last movie, they would have saved more lives if they just did that early on.
It would have been better.
Just like kill everyone. Like, you know, the arithmetic the American military did when it came to like, do we drop a bomb in Hiroshima to save American lives? Like, I'm pretty sure they could drop like 5 nuclear bombs at the end of Man of Steel and save like so many lives.
But not in Kyoto, because my wife and I honeymooned there. That I actually love that tidbit too in the movie, because the actor like did the research and was like, no, this guy actually honeymooned there, and was a big reason why they did not choose Kyoto,
which is insane. Oh, that's a great movie.
I genuinely think the U.S. and Japan like do not find any reparation if the U.S. destroys Kyoto because of its cultural significance. Like that is a very sacred ground for the Japanese. But
whereas like
not the point of the podcast. Not the point of the podcast.
Japan could nuke Gotham Metropolis. There's no one gives a fuck about those cities.
Yeah, everyone's like, fine.
They're generic cities. No one gives a fuck. It's like the same as like bomb like Boise or something. Like who cares? Like they're just not cultural significant places in this universe. But like so Superman's weakened, but he gets kind of revived by the sun a little bit, and Doomsday falls back down to the earth and everything. And also, after the big fight with Superman and Batman, the spear there that Batman was trying to kill Superman with, like Amy Adams just tosses into a little pool of water in the building.
Oh, wait, there's a better moment before where she's at the Daily Planet and she goes, Lawrence Fishburne, I need to get over there. I need a helicopter. A helicopter? We don't have the money for it. We barely even have the money for a bike. Where do you think I'm getting a helicopter from? And she's like, I need to get over there. Is it for a story? No. And she just looks at him like, you know Clark's over there, right? And like he doesn't, but he's like, okay, Lois, you got it. And then she takes a helicopter over there. I just thought that was very funny and really shitty dialogue.
It's ridiculous.
But like, so like she tosses the spear into the water, and then Amy Adams' big issue in the final climax movie is getting the spear out of the water again, and she almost drowns. And it's like, what the fuck is the point of the sequence? Why have her even go for the spear? Why not just have the spear like laying in a corner or something like that, and then she goes, picks up and saves it? It's a useless action sequence to give Amy Adams anything to do during his final fight, but his final fight's so inconsequential and stupid anyway that like it makes him even more pointless.
It's like the most tacked on fucking fight scene. It's almost like DLC for a fucking movie.
I do have a theory for this, and this is right when like movie theaters are kind of starting to struggle comparative to like what they did in the 2000s and the 90s and stuff. And you have really radical rising ticket prices at this time too, like the shift of pricing.
I think I saw this shit in 3D.
Yeah. So they're trying all the premium format stuff. I think Hollywood started to equate like runtime per dollar as a thing, like where people are like, it's an event to go to a movie. I'd rather spend my money on a 2 and a 40-hour 45-minute movie for a $15 ticket versus spending $15 on a 90-minute movie, because this was almost the death of the 90-minute movie. Like they were gone from theaters, and it turns out that people just want to see a good movie, not like the runtime is irrelevant for most people, and word of mouth is the greatest strength we have. But I digress.
Because this movie had like a huge drop off in the second week, like one of the biggest drop offs ever.
It's like 75% or something, right? It's
which is like insane. Crazy. Like, and like some of the Odyssey, like my Odyssey just came out this past weekend, but like that's going to have an incredible hold because everyone like is wanting to see it in whatever format they want to see in the best format possible. So like a lot like tickets are sold out like for the next like 3 weeks, like on premium formats. Like people want to see movies that have good word of mouth, and the Odyssey has good word of mouth. Like this was just a complete disaster. Like
everyone,
and everybody knew it too going in.
Everyone immediately was like, "This is shit." I mean, it was apparently an 81.2% decline on Friday. It was like the biggest Friday to Friday drop off, and an overall an overall 68.4% drop for the weekend, despite not facing any big competition at the box office. Just like everyone except for my brother was like, "Fuck this movie."
Yeah, and like it's back to like we haven't talked too much about
Armand White.
Yeah,
Armand White is just a contrarian. This is just when he truly became a full contrarian at this point in time. But like the thing about this movie and the Snyder fandom in general is like people like this movie a lot because it is one guy's vision, and I will give this movie credit for being one guy's vision. The vision is dog shit, but you can see that like, people like compared to Suicide Squad, which is complete hodgepodge because they try to make it like Guardians of the Galaxy was big, so they're like, what if we add a lot of music to
Deadpool was big.
Yeah, Deadpool was big, and like the DC EU is going forward is just like them just like, what if this works? What if that works? This is 100% feels like an uncompromised Zack Snyder vision, and I can see people liking it for that. The extended cut is like clarifies a couple more things. It's a more coherent movie that makes sense, despite being still a horrible movie. So like I can see where the fandom comes from for why does this franchise go longer, because you want a guy with one vision to make these movies, but it's so bad and so stupid and so alienating. Like this is like clear that Justice League, even the Zack Snyder's Justice League movie, it is such like a course correction from this movie because of how like lifeless and humorless this movie is. Like even Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League, I was surprised how much humor there is to that movie, because like the Joss Whedon one, it feels like a lot of Whedon-esque quips. But a lot of that is Zack Snyder stuff. A lot of it is him coming back like, I need to actually make this movie enjoyable for the masses and not just for my diehard people that will watch the most grim shit possible.
I feel like the Wheaton quips like peaked at Avengers, like the first one, and then we were like, that was great. And then everybody was kind of like, I think we're done though. Like, at least for me, I was like,
it's diminishing returns by the time we got to Ultron.
But then you have Ultron. I mean, it infected the Star Wars sequels. Like, it really rubbed me the wrong. Like, Star Wars has a sense of humor to it, with varying effects. But the quippy Marvel humor is not one of them.
I feel like the Whedon quips peaked in Avengers. You're right, and then I feel like James Gunn with Guardians of the Galaxy, Taika Waititi with Thor Ragnarok, they're quippy in their own unique voices. So I feel like that kind of like jump started everything yet again, and then now just like. Everyone's tired of this shit at this point in time. Like, no one wants like people want actually like, sincere movies that are like I think like the Odyssey. Again, we talk about this movie a fair amount, but like that movie is pretty humorless, but like it's like still like one guy's voice, and still, like, it's a successful blockbuster. We can say it's a successful movie after the first weekend. Like, that is, like, people are thirsting for this. They don't need to have, like, spoon-fed quippy humor and cameos and fan service to have people actually coming to the theater to see a movie.
Well, the problem with especially the quippy stuff, is that it felt like an insecure point where, like, a lot of it would end up being like, we're gonna make fun of the thing in the comic book before you get the chance to.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, at that point when you're like positioning this as like, yeah, I know this is stupid, goofy shit, but whatever. It's like, just be confident. I don't know.
Yeah, it's so insecure, and this movie is just insecure because it does not know, like, what it wants to be. If it's supposed to be
I don't think this movie's insecure. I just think it's bad. Like, this movie is very confident in what it's trying to accomplish.
But I also don't.
It's just dog shit.
It's bad, but I also don't. It's insecure in the sense that, like, it doesn't want to be a full-fledged Batman origin, but also does not want to be a full, like, sequel setup. It's trying to be so many things at once, and
it's a mess.
Bad at everything.
Yeah, it's insecure in this sense that it just wants to be like everything all at once. Where it's just like, yeah, you like Marvel, we could do Marvel, we can do that. Look at our heroes, so we got this. Come on,
yeah.
Don't you remember we had Flash and Aquaman also? Like, come on, don't you like us?
Yeah, it's desperate. It's a desperate movie.
Yeah.
Also, my next line of dialogue, or note in my notes to Tommy, was they just fired a nuke in space and there's still 30 minutes.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because that's a climax of a movie, you know?
Mm-hmm. And
this is a real pacing problem.
We can zip through the rest of this pretty fast because, like, they're back. Doomsday's back in the Earth. Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman are all fighting. Get the Wonder Woman guitar shredding a fair amount, but they have the spear, the Kryptonite spear, and they know it'll work against Doomsday because of Zod's corpse. I guess they just intuited that because how would they really know? And Wonder Woman is, like, holding her well. She has, like, her, like, she's doing, like, the braces and everything. Like, she can has superpowers. She can do everything she wants. But somehow, like, she could just, like, throw the spear at Doomsday and have it work. But Superman's like, no, it has to be me who does it. So he takes the Kryptonian spear, stabs, like, Doomsday in the chest, but it kills Superman as well. And it's such a useless sacrifice, which maybe that's the point of the Clark Kent, like, hero cake horse story. Doomsday is defeated, is, like, presented as if, like, Superman's on the cross and everything. It's like, such a big biblical sacrifice. Diane Lane's there, Lois Lane's there, and everyone's, like, sad Superman's dead in this universe now, despite the fact they fucking hate Superman, like, every second of this movie beforehand. Batman is just like, oh my god, how so sad Superman's died. But, like, you spent
talks
the past,
about them like they're friends. They were friends for 5 minutes.
You spent the past 18 fucking months of your trying to murder this motherfucker because you're a vindictive monster, and then, like, they have a new monument, in Superman 1, about how, like, Superman is, like, the best person ever. We're going to miss him so much, despite the fact that he's killed more people than he's saved. And they have, like, multiple funerals for Superman. We have the Clark Kent funeral and Superman's funeral. Superman funeral is a very Zack Snyder one, where it's, like, a military funeral. We have, like, the 21 guns, you have cannons, and, like, slow motion cannons just falling on the guns. And that probably takes up the next, like, 20 minutes of runtime right there. And meanwhile, back in Smallville, like, Clark Kent's funeral's happening, and, like, Diane Lane comes to, like, Lois Lane, and it's like, oh, like, Clark, just order this off of eBay or something like that. Here's, like, a little, like, pouch I have. It's an engagement ring. So Lois Lane's extra sad because, like, oh my god, like, he was going to propose to me. And they start, like, throwing dirt on Superman's grave and everything. And as, like, this funeral's happening in Smallville, like, Batman says to, like, Wonder Woman's like, oh yeah, there's other metahumans out there. We should form something like the Justice League. And she just, like, stares at him like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because, like, like, they have no connection at all about what comes, like, defeating, like, metahumans and protecting one another. But, like, you're supposed to assume that Batman's, like, kind of learned his lesson about, like, protecting humanity. But, like, I don't buy any emotion from these guys at all about regret or remorse, because Batman fucking spent this entire movie being a fucking asshole monster to absolutely every person imaginable. Be it criminals, be it his own, like, butler, be it Superman. He was just a complete dick to everyone.
Well, it's like one of the worst lines in this movie is when Batman says, as much as it seems like a hype horror moment, where it's like, if there's even a 1% chance that Superman could be bad, then we have to take that as an absolute fucking certainty. It's like, okay, so Batman's just a hard-right Republican in this fucking movie?
Yeah. Yeah, like, again, the whole fascist angle, too, is just like, you're just being like, you have to have complete control over everything to protect people.
I have in my notes, love that they have a sole Scottish bagpiper in Smallville. Like, I loved that little fact. I also texted Tommy, I said, I feel joy during Superman's funeral knowing this movie is almost over. And then I had another one in here, which I don't know if it's really funny, but I said, I really want this movie to end with Batman putting his arm around Superman and saying, Clark, I think this is the start of a beautiful friendship. And then I followed it up with Supes dies, right? So I wasn't fully remembering everything, but these are all my notes. I swear I'm done.
But, like, that's, like, pretty much what happens in Justice League. Because, like, they resurrect Superman using, like, I don't know, Flash runs fast, something like that, which somehow brings Superman back to life. And, like, they have that big fight at the memorial that, like, Scoot McNairy did the hate crime on. And we get the great scene. That's where you get the great, like, Kal-El, no.
Kal-El, no.
Kal-El, no.
But even the rest of the Justice League, Superman's a whole big asshole, too, with, like, no, like, joy of saving people's lives. And Batman just, like, he's sad during the next movie because, like, Batman fucking kills Batman's the reason why Superman's dead in this movie. And the next movie does not really, like, deal with that really well at all because it's just like, oh, like, it was kind of a mistake and, like, we have to deal with, like, Justice League is they're fighting Steppenwolf next movie, not even, like, fucking, like, Darkseid or, like, a big villain that matters. It's like a henchman to a henchman. Like, it's, like, bad setup.
It's CGI slop monster.
Yeah, it's just stupid bullshit.
It's stupid bullshit. Stupid bullshit is the best way to describe it. But, like, it's awful. And then, like, the movie ends with, like, them all throwing dirt on Superman's grave. And then above his coffin, like, the dirt rises a little bit. So, like, oh, maybe he's not actually dead. Because no one's actually going to fucking believe for 1 second that Superman's actually going to be dead for this franchise for any more than, like, half an hour.
Can you imagine if they had the balls to be like, yeah, well, Superman's dead after the second movie. The rest of this franchise is just not going to have him.
Yeah,
That would have been sick.
If they actually, like, waited one full movie to have Superman back to an Infinity War Endgame type thing to, like, actually have some restraint with it, but they just knew they had nothing without Superman as a character because, like, Batman is underdeveloped in this movie. Flash and Cyborg are really underdeveloped in these movies. And, like, Ray Fisher's a great actor. And unfortunately, Ezra Miller's a good actor too. And they just did nothing with those characters that were effective at all in the Justice League movies. And, like, even this whole franchise, it's all just, like, missed potential because, like, Ray Fisher, incredible actor, they didn't give him a fucking Cyborg movie, which is, like, the easiest slam dunk thing to do, which, like...
They were gonna, then it ended up being, like, the whole thing.
And, like, the problem... did so bad. And
the problem...
Also, like, Cyborg, especially in the Joss Whedon cut of Justice League, it's like, why is this guy even here? Like, it's just, like, he just kind of shows up. It's crazy.
It's ridiculous. And the problem with the Justice League movie, too, is that they make it so, like, pretty much all the heroes are useless and they just really need Superman. That's all it comes back down to. Where it's just like, we need this one guy back. And it's like almost a meta commentary on the franchise itself. Like, without Henry Cavill, we're nothing.
Mm-hmm. Which is insane because, like, it's Henry Cavill who is, like, a charisma void in these movies.
Yeah.
And it's just like, like, it's like, this movie has no post-credits sequence. Like, this is just the end of Batman vs Superman. But this movie only exists to set up a later movie. And even Justice League only exists to set up a later movie as well, because it's just like, oh, don't worry, we're going to fight Darkseid in the next movie. It's going to be a better movie down the line. Which the problem with DC Universe in general is, like, the whole franchise is like, we're going to set up a better movie later on. Like, Black Adam, when The Rock changes the hierarchy of the DC Universe forever, which he did because the movie bombed and no one gave a fuck anymore. Like, it's like, okay, the better movie's going to happen when Black Adam fights Henry Cavill Superman. And the Flash movie is like, okay, it's going to be a better movie next time. We're trying to reset things. It'll be better next time. But, like, Marvel didn't have this problem until, like, the past, like, 6 years. Mm-hmm. And the crazy thing is, like, well, Marvel had the template of how to make a cinematic universe, like, one movie at a time, test the waters, see what people care about, and then
Adjust,
make the movie as you go along. But like Marvel forgot the whole trend because this Phase of Doomsday, complete disaster, and DC never learned that lesson at all because just like they kept like trying new things, to trying to chase what Marvel already achieved. Like, what if we were to make like a Suicide Squad more like Guardians of the Galaxy? It was like, well, no, you had some interesting idea of having a villain movie, do it your own way, don't make it like a quippy comedy. And it's like Suicide Squad might be a worse movie than this, but I hate this movie more than pretty much any movie ever made because like all the elements in place are things I should like. I like Superman, I like Batman, and they fuck it up so bad. And like,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and like this movie did poor. Like for a movie called Batman vs Superman, it did horrible the second week at the box office. It got bad reviews. It made $874 million at the box office, but that's considered a massive disappointment. Because like
it should have been an easy billion, like right there.
Easy billion, especially this a fucking Captain Marvel movie made $1 billion. Like
it's
ridiculous. The 2010s superhero box office is fascinating because like
it's crazy.
You can make absolutely any movie, people would come out to it. I remember Guardians of the Galaxy, people thought it was gonna be a huge risk because like who
knew these guys?
No one gives a fuck about characters, but like, that made so much money. That made a whole. Honestly, the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy is probably the best part of the MCU because it has like
Infinity War is. I think Infinity War, in my opinion, the fact that they pull it off and which leads to the balance of like Endgame, which I'm not a fan of, but it's fine. It's for an event movie, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
But Infinity War basically took the lessons of like what didn't. Civil War almost felt like a test run to make Infinity War work.
Well, but also it's like Batman and Superman are the two most iconic superheroes like of all time. Like up there with Spider-Man. They're probably like the big three. Yeah, those are the big three probably. And like, you know, the point that like I remember like the Will Smith I Am Legend in that movie in Times Square, you could see advertisements for that in an in-universe Batman v Superman movie where it was like, oh shit, that'd be sick if they ever did that. And this is the thing that you talk about on the playground all the time, and like, you know, and you see the Batman animated series, the Superman animated series. Like, this is something that should have had so much hype and should have been like had incredible legs and should have been easy billion, and instead they just made this weird dour awful movie.
It's so funny, like growing up as a kid in the 90s, like if I was like, oh, there'd be a movie with Batman and Superman, they're fighting one another, it'd be so fucking rad. But the movie is actually kind of rad. I was like, what if Iron Man and Captain America were fighting over like superhero contracts and like what they're allowed to do? And that's actually the fun movie.
Yeah, that's the good one. Who would have thought?
Crazy.
Yeah, so like yeah, and I was saying this movie fucking sucks ass, and I fucking despise every second of it. I'm so sorry for making you guys watch it.
It's more fun to talk about than to watch. I promise.
Yeah, if I'm lucky, this is the last time I ever watch this movie. If I'm lucky,
that's why like I've spent because like I like when it's kind of like I love bad movies so much. I love ripping on movies so much, but like there's so many bad movie podcasts out there. So it was kind of a theme for my podcast. I was like, I gotta do something that's not a bad movie podcast, or else I would just be like so negative all the time. So I have the idea of like Reclaim Cinema, and I was like, oh fuck, like because I did not want to do a podcast which is gonna be covering like the latest Marvel movies all the time.
Yeah,
but this is a movie that actually has a fan base that is passionate about it, and like the Snyder fans, like you even see it still to this day because like people were like, oh, Cyclops looks like shit in the new Avengers trailer. He should be played by Henry Cavill instead in the next X-Men movie. Because, like, they think Henry Cavill should be playing every single fucking character. He should be playing Aegon the Conqueror in the new Game of Thrones, like a prequel series movie or something like that. He should be playing, like, I don't know, every single fucking person on the planet. Like, the Henry Cavill fans are insane. The Zack Snyder fans are dedicated.
School.
Sorry, what?
I said he should be playing at acting school, because that's where he needs to go.
I know. He's not a good... He's not that charismatic of an actor. He's not a box office draw. And I do not understand the idea that he could be the one that saves any franchise because, like, he's
killed Superman.
He's a bad Superman. He's the one thing I kind of get from the Snyder fans is like there's so much missed potential with this franchise when it comes to just like there's good casting in here. I like Ben Affleck as Superman. I like Jeremy Irons as Alfred, and like even the Snyder Cut has like Joe Manganiello as like a Deathstroke. It has like good ideas, good castings that go nowhere.
Yeah, Well, it's like, do you remember like at the time, like right after this movie came out, they were going to do a Ben Affleck Batman movie, and he was going to direct it himself. Yeah. And it's like, honestly, even though this movie sucked, I would have fucking seen that. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's the weird thing of just over and over again, where like just like so many failed opportunities, where it's just like you watch this movie and it feels like it's a sequel, set up a sequel that we never end up getting, and that's what's so frustrating about it. One of the many things that is.
The cool thing with that Ben Affleck Batman movie was that, like, after that movie kind of fell through, they tried to find new directors for it, even with Ben Affleck in the starring role, and like that's how Matt
could
Reeves
easily direct it.
Yeah, and like
that's how Matt Reeves got involved, right?
It's how Matt Reeves got involved. So basically, the new Batman movie with Robert Pattinson was like, because that movie just didn't work out, but like it was only like a couple steps away from it, which is like, that's a good movie. That's a really good movie.
That's probably the best adaptation of Batman, like of the character.
Yeah. Like, I think Batman Returns is my favorite Batman movie, and then The Dark Knight, and then that one.
And Batman Returns, that's very interesting. Number one,
that movie does rock though.
It's good. I just don't ever really hear. I feel people either say like Batman '89, The Dark Knight, or The Batman. Like one of those three tends to be people's favorite Batman movies.
I love what Tim Burton's aesthetic with that movie, especially having the Penguin as the villain, and Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman is so fucking hot in that movie.
All time.
Listen, Brian, I respect horniness in all shapes and sizes. So
and there's like no horniness in superhero movies anymore. Like it's just like they're all sexless and boring.
They killed that.
Yeah, God forbid we have romance in our fucking or.
God forbid we have Anne Hathaway looking good in tights. You know.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, oh, she's great in the movie too, and
yeah, she is.
But I do like Amy Adams in this movie, and like I think that she, you know, she's not the quote unquote sex bot, but I think that she is a good romantic foil for the movie. It's just that she's acting with Henry Cavill, which is a big problem.
I also feel bad for Henry Cavill because he does not have the superpower of picking good scripts. He's awful at it. He picks shit.
He's only like Guy Ritchie movies now, right? I mean, I feel like I always see pop up.
He just picks dog shit. Too. He picks dog shit projects. But also, like, my only problem with Amy Adams is like, this movie's 2.5 hours long. She does a good job with what she's given. This movie's called Batman v Superman. Just, like, get me to the juice of the stuff that takes 2 hours, like, takes an hour and 35 minutes to get to, versus, like, where we are in this movie. Like, I'm, like, losing my mind. Like, and I'm just like, can you cut this out so this movie's quick, easy 90, and I'm in and out? You know, like I'm sorry.
You could probably go to the scene where Lois Lane's in Africa with the warlord there. It's like, hey, this scene reminds me of The Insider. Go watch the entirety of The Insider, which is like 2.5 hours long. Come back and still get to see the final fight of the movie, and you would not miss a single thing at all.
You'd watch a much better movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Oh my god! Like, you can watch like any Michael Mann movie within the midst of this movie. It's a better movie. Like,
oh gosh, dude, imagine we just watched Heat instead. Like
and the thing is, like, you already have the Batman version of Heat, which is The Dark Knight, which is like a solid movie. Like, it's a great, like, Christopher Nolan's using his homaging. He's homaging Heat in so many fascinating ways, but also like still doing his Nolan thing of like having his own like twist on the matter, and still like he has a fascination with the Batman character that actually works for the movie. Whereas like Zack Snyder's not gonna fuck with Superman at all. It's clear in Batman, and it's clear in Man of Steel. It's clear in this movie too. Do you ever hear that one quote where we're gonna end this pretty soon, but Zack Snyder was asked in like 2016 or sorry in 2008 about like about how he would do a Batman movie, and he's talking about Batman Begins, and he says like, this is a complete quote from Zack Snyder.
Yeah,
everyone says about Batman Begins, Batman's dark. I'm like, yeah, okay, no, Batman's cool. He gets to go to a Tibetan monastery and be trained by ninjas. Okay, I want to do that, but he doesn't get like raped in prison. That could happen in my movie. If you want to talk about dark, that's how dark I would go.
Oh god, I remember like, whoa.
And it's like, well, like maybe you should not be the one to direct a mainstream blockbuster about Batman. If like your idea about Batman is like getting raped in prison is like the cool, gritty way to go about a movie.
What's the weird thing of like, I'm thinking like, because he got this off of pretty much what, like 300 did really well for him, and Watchmen I think did okay. I mean, I remember Watchmen being like somewhat of a bomb too, if memory serves correct.
It did not do well at all. No. Like it was because like it was Sucker Punch just before Man of Steel, and that movie did not do great either. Like I did that for my podcast as well. Like he was still like Guardians. It's funny because like Zack Snyder's like never made like a huge like box office success, but like I think studios like his like what he has to. People like I think Zack Snyder's the kind of guy like if you were to be an executive in a pitch meeting with Zack Snyder could probably give you a great pitch that's kind of like, oh yeah, this would actually be like really like interesting to work with. Yeah, I'm looking at his filmography right now. I think 300 is the only true bona fide hit he's had. That movie made like $400 million off like a $30 million budget. I guess Dawn of the Dead made $100 million off a $26 million budget, but like after that, it's just like box office disappointment.
Yeah, like fucking like the Rebel Moon shit that no one gives.
Rebel. Okay, Rebel Moon. Have you guys seen those movies?
No,
I did not bother.
I'm out on Zack Snyder.
Unwatchable. They're truly unwatchable movies. He basically took the plot of Star Wars: New Hope and just adapted it into 2 movies that are 5 hours long apiece, and nothing happens that matters. The first movie is basically him just like recruiting a team to like defend like 7 samurai, like defend like a grain planet or something like that, and then no one in that team in the first movie matters in the second movie at all. In the second movie, like half of it is like slow motion grain farming. It's like wheat fields. Like I go to my own fucking farm and watch that at home. Like I don't have to fucking watch a 3-hour long like Netflix movie about it. It's so fucking bad. Like
it's a Netflix movie. You just know it's going to be dog shit anyway.
And like I think that Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire, and Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver, because titles are so fucking stupid. I have to remember those. Like I think that trivia. Those are worse movies than Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. And I think there are worse movies out there, but I think that Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, like there are elements of this movie and there are ingredients of this movie, like Batman, Superman. I should like this movie a lot. And the fact that this whole DC franchise was tethered to Zack Snyder for like years because of his vision and
for a half decade,
and like it's awful because I got to at this point in time Marvel was thriving. I love the MCU at this point in time. Like you get like movies like
it was in its prime, literally.
Yeah, and then like meanwhile DC's like farting around with Zack Snyder bullshit, and like meanwhile like even like something like Black Panther, you get like Ryan Coogler having a cool vision of like Afrofuturism, and like again like it's not like peak art, but it's still like you get to see like people playing around in a sandbox is interesting.
They're fun blockbusters. They're fun. They're fun little popcorn flicks, and they're great conversation starters in a society that was losing a monoculture. It was one of the only things that we had that was still monoculture that most people could have a conversation with you about, and that's a cool thing to have. Yeah. And then I look at how do you fuck this up?
Yeah.
It's Batman v Superman, the 2 of the big 3 in the title.
It should be the coolest movie ever.
I'm sorry, but Brian and Tommy, I think you and I could have an hour brainstorming session and come up with a rough draft script of this without reading a single comic book, without anything that's just like that just borrows from like our film knowledge, like nothing original, nothing crazy, but just something that works. Like if this just played it safe and just worked with like by the numbers superhero script with a big dumb robot at the end of the movie that they got to fight together, but it just kind of like follows these beats. The movie's probably like a 2 out of 5. People overrate it because it's got Batman and Superman in it, and it's like whatever. Like it's inoffensive. It's a TNT classic. Like they still run it on TNT and Paramount Network and whatever on cable or whatever they have in Canada. Sorry, Brian, it's not my expertise.
Like if this movie was called like Dog Boy versus like Superior Humanoid, like no one give a fuck about this movie whatsoever.
Oh, this movie would have made $100. It's that bad.
Yeah,
it wouldn't have like a 50% on Rotten Tomato either. It would have like a 2% on Rotten Tomato. It has 50% because it has.
And
Batman.
I'm about to depress myself by looking up the Rotten Tomatoes audience score. It's probably gonna be super fucking high.
It's like 60 something. But like I have also learned that there are people in this world, and I have friends who are like this. They like the paint of things that they like, and they can't see beyond it, and they can be intelligent in a lot of other ways, but they just lack that kind of criticism. They really like the paint. They love the lore. I love the lore, man. I just love the lore. I'm like, the lore is written by a bunch of nerds.
like,
And,
I
like,
the least important thing.
I don't care at all.
63% popcorn meter on Rotten Tomatoes audience.
Wow,
That's
I
way
was
too
like
high.
I was like on the money there. I did not. I swear I didn't look this up.
All right, well, talking for over 2 hours in this movie. We also talked for almost 2 hours for the Odyssey earlier tonight with you guys in your show.
Yeah.
But yeah,
We could have kept going on that one too. I just hit the wrap up button.
yeah. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me.
No, thanks
Yeah,
for
thanks
having
for
us.
having
This is
us.
great.
Yeah, this is
great.
like a really fun discussion. I'm so glad you guys decided to hop on. I've had people ask me to do Batman vs Superman before because they love the movie, and I was like, I dislike this movie so much that like I just like I feel it'd be a lot of like, yelling at one another about the movie, but I feel like I got some fun discussion about a movie that I truly despise. I think this is my most hated movie ever, so I'm glad it gets out of the way for my podcast. And it's a great 50th movie for my show. So
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Don't go watch this movie, by the way. Like, if you've
don't
never
watch
seen
it. And don't
if
watch
you
the
own the Blu-ray, break the disc and throw it out.
Yeah.
Maybe we can erase it from history. We
yeah,
can only hope.
the extended cut's half an hour longer. A lot of it's like Call of Duty action scenes in Africa of like soldiers fighting like Taliban coded people. It's stupid as fuck. It's bad.
Oh God.
Yeah. But it does clarify a couple things about the why the Superman burning bodies in Africa. If people think that, as well as it also clarifies Lex Luthor assassinating guys in prison with a bounty. But it's still dumb as shit, and I think Zack Snyder should be and he's a cinematic terrorist. He should not be allowed to make movies.
I think he's in jail now. I think he's in director jail after Rebel Moon
He should
failing.
be. Yeah.
Thank God they're not making one of those movies. It was a fucking suck ass. They're so fucking stupid and bad. Fucking dog shit. Fucking shit movies. Like they're so fucking boring too. Like if you make bad movies that are actually interesting and fun, like I talked about the Odyssey where I didn't really like the movie too much, but like it was just like, you know what? It's like 3 hours long. I have to watch it. Got to see someone do something. But like Zack Snyder makes movies that are so boring and fucking stupid too. And they're long, they're ugly.
You can compare a lot of movies against Zack Snyder movies and just say, you know what? It's like
not Zack Snyder.
It's like Citizen Kane compared to Batman v Superman, and like that's a problem.
I do love that. Like now that we've been like podcasting for 4 hours between our two pods, that like now the real vial of Zack Snyder's coming out, where it's like, fuck this dude. Fuck this dude. It's always like when Timmy snapped on my pod.
Yeah.
I didn't really snap. I was just trying to transition so fucking bad. I've been interrupted the entire time of trying to transition.
I was just being a fucking little prick about like,
you weren't being a prick though. You didn't do it intentionally. I was starting to talk and then you just like started yelling over me. I'm like, Tommy, stop. Okay. Guys, this is Haven't Seen It. We have one of us hasn't watched a movie. We rarely cover new releases, but for something like The Odyssey, we'll cover it for some of your bigger releases. You can follow us on social media at SeenItPod. That's on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. We have a Blue Sky. You can also find us on YouTube with full episodes with video. It's great. Find us on Apple, Spotify. Give us a subscribe. Helps us out, helps us grow the show. Thank you so much, Brian, for having us on. This was a lot of fun. I hope I brought enough venom to this movie, because I hope you can tell I dislike this movie.
Speaking of Venom would have been a great addition. Like
I've never seen it. I was
You're not missing much.
Oh, yeah, your podcast called Haven't Seen It. The Venom movies, I like them.
Okay.
I think Tom Hardy's doing fun stuff, but that's the extent of.
Have you seen all three of them?
I've only seen the first two.
The worst movie I've ever cried to is Venom 3. I cried in that movie.
The worst movie I ever cried to was Sex and the City movie when Big leaves Carrie at the altar. I
used to cry during Muppets from Space every time when I saw it when I was a kid on VHS. When Gonzo would say goodbye to the Muppets, even though I knew that it would happen, and I would still cry. I remember my older brother would make fun of me and be like, "You're gonna cry again, aren't you?" I was like, "Yes."
He definitely called you a little bitch.
Yeah.
I like your Banjo-Kazooie amiibo. That's awesome.
Yeah, I got Banjo, I got Young Link, and I got my main man.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
And
Love
then
him
I have
lot.
a Roger Rabbit, but he lost his ear.
Man, that's sad. But, yeah, Venom 3.
I haven't eaten dinner yet.
So, that came out, I saw it Election Night in America 2024. My local theater was doing, like, $5 Tuesday, so I saw Venom 3. And I looked at the election results, like, oh, that's not looking too great for Kamala Harris there. I saw Full Metal Jacket afterwards.
What
That came out of the theater, like, oh, that's not great for humanity at all.
No.
Yeah.
She was dead in the water when she started, but that's another topic.
Yeah.
I've
But,
been talking
speaking
for
of
5 hours straight.
Yeah. Speaking of haven't seen it, I was on for the podcast for a Miami Vice episode, which was one of my favorite movies. And I was also on there for Memento, which was a really fun discussion. So their Nolan month, I was part of that, and it was really fun talking about the Odyssey as well. So that episode will be out before this one's out. So, yeah, give that a listen because it was a lot of fun.
You probably went and saw it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so thank you guys so much for joining me. You can follow me on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Letterboxd at @bwishart. You can also follow the show at Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, and YouTube. Next week's episode, I think, is going to be Spider-Man 3, but I'm sort of trying to figure out some details on that. If it's not that, it's going to be Blade Runner, but I'll figure out details on that as we go along.
It's real whiplash.
Yeah. Those are... I love Spider-Man 3. That's a great movie. I've always been a defender of it.
It's hilarious.
It's a Raimi movie at the end of the day. I mean,
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, that was one where, like, I remember, like, leaving the theater in 2007 with all my friends. Like, they was like, that movie fucking sucked. I'm like, that was kind of good.
To be fair,
I kind of liked it at the time.
To be fair, Spider-Man 2 ripped so hard, it's just so wildly different and a little bit too stuffed. But I've been talking for 5 hours. I gotta stop.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2 is like my favorite superhero movie ever. So like that one's, I'm a big fan of that. But yeah, we've been talking for a long period of time. So thank you so much for listening. Until next week, take care.